Hibernian versus Heart of Midlothian.
The Edinburgh Derby.
Live on Sports Sound.
Naturally, for everything that goes with the two clubs in the one city, you want to be the team on top. You know what it means to both sets of supporters.
Throws it straight down the middle, puts his fingers to his lips. Easter Road erupts.
I'm not going to sit here and say it's just another game and it's just 3 points. It means more. It's a derby game.
And it's the header into the bottom corner. Goal for Hearts.
You could be in different divisions. Could be a pre-season friendly. These games always take care of themselves, and the form book goes out the window.
People care about their football clubs and they're passionate about their football clubs, and this is a big game, and there's no better feeling than winning a big game of football.
And he stands, arms outstretched in front of the Hibs fans.
Both sets of supporters are going into the game fancying their chances because of the running form these teams are.
A massive goal for Edinburgh's green and white.
There's an expectation going into this game. Hopefully we're still feeling good about ourselves after the game on Sunday.
The Edinburgh Derby. Live on Sports Sound.
Good morning and a very warm welcome indeed from me, Richard Gordon. I'm here at Pittodrie Stadium where it is bright and sunny and absolutely freezing for the 3 o'clock kickoff between Aberdeen and Dundee United. That's to come, and we will set the scene for that one later. We'll also look back on the action from yesterday, the draw between Dundee and St Johnstone. Ross County with what could be a massive win for them against Kilmarnock. Celtic eventually come out on top in a 7-goal bonanza in the evening kickoff in Paisley, and of course more woes for Rangers. Motherwell with a big victory for them at Ibrox. That was what happened yesterday. There's still so much to come this afternoon, and of course it all kicks off down in the capital. It's a 12:30 start as Hibernian and Heart of Midlothian prepared to go head to head once more. We're going to have full live commentary from there from 12:30 with John Robertson, John Collins and Liam McLeod, who can bring us the team news.
Yeah, I think the men in white coats, Richard, would have been after you if you'd suggested Hearts and Hibs would be battling for third spot just a few months ago. And what a day we've got. The two fixtures today live in Sports Sound, absolutely outstanding. Team-wise today then, Hibs, 2 changes for them from the side that started the game at Tannadice during the week. Of course, beat Celtic last week, and on this wonderful unbeaten run right now, Chris Cadden, Kieran Bowie come in for Miller and Kukarevich. Bowie scored that wonderful goal at Tannadice. Kukarevich was on the score sheet as well, but he's plumped with the young Scotland under-21 international. Smith in goal, O'Hara, Bushiri, Iredale, Chris Cadden, Mariah Wells, Triantis, Nicky Cadden and Campbell behind Boyle and Bowie. So that is the starting 11 for Hibs, who will be looking to extend that run and potentially with a win go third today. That bunched up part of the Premiership, as the 2 clubs, or the 3 clubs right now, could all finish third by the close of business today. Indeed, a draw would be enough for Hibs to go third ahead of Aberdeen's game with Dundee United a little later. The Hibs bench is Bursic, Miller, Levitt, Yuan, Kwon, Obita, Hoylett, Gale and Kukarevich. For Hearts, 2 changes as well. That from the side that beat St Mirren during the week. Khartoum and Neuenhoff come out. Grant and Spittle come in. Gordon in goal. Taylor, Steinvender, McCart and Penrice. Grant, Beningame and Spittle, with Shanklin supporting Wilson and Kabangu. Of course, young James Wilson scored the late equaliser here for Hearts in the first meeting. Was a draw. Hibs of course won at Tynecastle. The Hearts bench: Clark, Neuenhoff, Forrest, Milne, Nielsen, Khartoum, Forrester, Drama and Vargas. The ref taking charge of his 6th Edinburgh Derby is John Beaton, and the VAR's Nick Walsh.
It promises to be quite an afternoon, both here at Pittodrie and there at Easter Road. We're live pitchside. Neil Critchley is with Brian McLaughlin.
Yeah, Neil, we're just talking about how excited you are about being here on a Sunday morning. There's something about this game. I know you're only a few months in the city, but this is a special day.
It is a special day. It's a special game, you're right. Great occasion. Should be a great atmosphere. Good conditions. Looking forward to it.
What do you expect?
A really intense game, super intense game. 2 teams who are in a good moment, so confident, both going for the game, a passionate game, and moments or fine margins can decide it.
You expect it to be open, quite open?
Who knows?
Well, you can have an impact on that. I can't.
Yeah, of course. We have a plan going into every game, and tactics play a part, but in this game it's also about commitment, desire and work ethic. You got to make sure you compete and then you're relying on your ability on the pitch winning the game for you.
We know this is a huge occasion for the city. How important is it that the players who don't play the occasion and just try and play the game? Because at the end of the day, it's 22 players out there trying to do the best for their teams.
Yeah, you've got to get the balance right. You do have to play the occasion to a certain point. You have to play the emotion of the game. That is really important. It's just getting the balance right between making sure you're there, you're competitive, but you also play the game and play the game that we want to play, and feeding off the energy of the stands, and that's what football's about.
Yeah, three of your back four making their first starts in this fixture today. What can you teach them as to what to expect in the game?
Oh, look, they've experienced some of these types of games before, just not here. Hopefully they'll have a positive experience today. And you're relying on, obviously, when you're bringing them in, making sure that they're the right types of characters that can play in these types of games. And but sometimes you find out more in the moment. But I'm fully confident that they'll be more than up to the task today.
Craig Gordon, I think this is his 25th Edinburgh derby, which is an incredible stat alone. He's been a big player for you though this season, and indeed in the last few weeks. Yeah,
a huge player. He's been brilliant influence on the group. Terrific for me as well since I've been at the club. I can learn a lot from him, and he's such a steadying influence on everybody, and like you say, his performances have been magnificent. Some of the saves he's pulled off have been top class, top draw, and hopefully he has a quiet day today though.
Yeah, the other end as well, young James Wilson, I think turns 17 or 18 this month. 18 this month. How impressed have you been by the maturity that he has shown in recent weeks?
Yeah, I have. He plays the game well beyond his years. He's so intelligent. We've slightly tweaked his position a little bit recently, and he's picked it up straight away. He knows when to press, when not to press, where to run to, when to run, and he's got a good brain, a good football brain, and he's hungry to improve. He wants to learn and get better every day on the training pitch, and we just have to give him the right environment, the right team, the right support, the right guidance, and let him be.
And finally, Neil, the results yesterday means you're now out the top six once again. A terrific win for Motherwell at Ibrox. Yeah. You need to win today though, don't you, to try and push your way back into that?
We want to win any derby game, regardless of where we are in the league. But yes, of course, our aim is to finish in the top six and then push up for the last few games of the season. And this is a significant game for both teams.
I did say finally, one more question. You made a couple of changes. What was the thinking behind that?
No, just freshness. 3 games in a week. Hopefully we can get some control in the middle of the pitch with certain players and a bit of energy, and hopefully it's the right team.
Hopefully for your side. Neil, good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Neil Critchley there live with Brian McLaughlin. We'll also hear before kick-off from David Gray. Both managers absolutely loving the runs that their teams are on currently. And he summed it up there very nicely. I think a special day, a special occasion. He's maybe a bit of a newcomer to this particular fixture. Hasn't had much experience, but he has got it. He understands exactly what it means. Two men who absolutely fall into that category are John Robertson and John Collins. Let's go to you first, John Collins, in terms of the team news there that we heard from Liam. We'll get to Neil Critchley's thoughts in just a moment or two. Is that the Hibernian lineup you were anticipating?
Yeah, no surprises from my point of view. I think that's been the key, is consistency lately from Hibs' point of view. Back three stays the same, goalkeeper. Very few changes, very few injuries or suspensions lately. They're a tight unit, Hibs. Physically, I think they're... Years gone by, you would always say Hearts are physically the stronger team, but on the pitch today, I think Hibs are the stronger physically. Bowie gives them a different dimension at the top of the pitch. He's 6'4". I think you'll see a lot of maybe long balls from Hibs early doors, putting the two centre defenders of Hearts under pressure, looking at it, ping it in his chest, or looking at it, flick it on for Boyle's pace, trying to get in behind the two central defenders. But Hibs wide players, the two Cardins, Fantastic attitude, good legs. When they get into that final third, they've got one thought in their mind, is to whip it in. The one player I've spoken about in recent weeks is Nicky Cadden. He's been a terrific signing, and he's a big player now for Hibs. They've got to feed him, get the ball to him in the final third. He'll put good balls in the box, and I think with Bowie in there, that'll be a real threat for them. But confidence is sky high here at Hibs. They're not winning games comfortably. They're not battering anybody. Every game they're winning has been close. We've got to say that. They're not a team that's huge on possession, but what they've done in recent months, they've scored goals from not huge amount of chances, and that brings confidence to everybody at the club when you're not creating huge amount of chances, but you're hitting the back of the net. And the defenders, when the balls are coming in the box, they've got an extra defender in there, centre half playing with the three. They're getting their heads and clearing it. But it'll be a tough, typical derby game, no doubt. I think Hearts will be try and build from the back. I think one thing with Neil Critchley watching them, they try and build from the back. He likes him as a possession-based coach. So if I was Hibs' point of view, I'd like to see Craig Gordon playing it to centre halves, and then the full press going on, high press from Hibs' point of view. Because when it goes back to Craig, I don't think he's too confident when he's been put under pressure. For me, that is a weakness in his game. He's Scotland's #1 shot stopper, but under pressure with his feet, and then I think Hibs will try and put pressure on him.
There are so many fascinating aspects to this game, and John has highlighted a few of them there. Let's get John Robertson's thoughts on the Heart of Midlothian line-up. I think just that one change, isn't it?
Two changes.
But
I don't think it's a major surprise what Hearts are looking at there. They brought Grant and Spittle back in to freshen the team up. Tactically, it's going to be interesting. Richard, I thought Hearts, when you play against a 3-5-2, a 4-3-3 normally is the go-to formation, because you can push your two wide men right up, and Hibs would then have a problem. Do they drop their wing backs? Do they drop the Caddens back to mark the wingers, which would allow 2v1s down the side for Hearts with the full-back and the wingers? Or do they gamble and go man for man at the back and push the likes of Iredale and O'Hara out to mark them? And they're not comfortable in those areas, but with the diamond the Hearts are playing, I think it suits Hibs a little bit better. I think Beringame will naturally pick up Campbell. You'll have Triantis and Newell in the middle of the park against Grant and Spittle. So that will leave Shankland spare, but it's how Hearts get the ball into them, because as John's said there already, it's 2v2 at the back. It becomes tactical, because if Craig Gordon's got the ball back there, can he get it out to Penrice? Can he get it out to Taylor first and foremost? How high do Hibs press? Because if they do press high, that will leave space for Wilson and Kabangu to run into the channels and get the ball in behind there. So Hearts could get down the side there. So tactically, it's going to be very, very interesting. As I said, it's an easy tweak if Hearts want to change it, because they could just put Shankland up right through the middle and play Kamangu slightly to the left, Wilson slightly to the right, and say, right, okay, Hibs, what are you going to do now? Because they say it's not like, John's called it right. If Hibs press and Craig Gordon kicks it long, Hearts are not great early. Wilson's not bad in the air, but you would expect the three big centre halves from Hibs to go and win their fair share. But both teams are in fine form. I think Hibs 15-16 games unbeaten, Hearts only 2 defeats in 11, so they both come in form. Hibs, and I don't like saying this, but Hibs must be heavy favourites today for the first time in a long time going into the derby. So again, that might suit Hearts coming down here a wee bit under the radar, and Hibs expecting to go on. But listen, the stakes are as high as they always are. Yes, there's bragging rights first and foremost. That's the main thing that the fans will be looking for. But in terms of 3 points today, huge. As you say, Hibs could end the day in third. Hearts could end the day a point behind Hibs, and right on the tail. I think both sides here will be hoping that the spoils are shared at Pittodrie, as the two teams heading Pittodrie will hope that the spoils are shared down here, because that is the nature and the tightness of the league from third place right down to probably at the moment, I think, all the way down now, because St Johnstone are in the headlights of Dundee now, and Dundee are just behind Kilmarnock. Ross County has just touched on big win yesterday, but today there's so much at stake, and to me the tactical thing's going to be right. John's correct. Hibs are normally it's the other way about in the city, but Hibs are the big, strong, physical team. Hearts have got maybe a bit more technical ability about them, but it's in a derby game, sometimes that little bit of physicality can help you settle in the game quicker. But if Hearts can get the ball down and pass it and get it into Shankland's feet, get Wilson and Kavango running into the channels, get Taylor and Penrice on the ball, they could cause Hibs problems. But my main worry is Hibs' threat down the flanks. The Caddens have been sensational. Nicky in particular, they just get the ball, they throw it in early. And I was actually quite shocked at Johnson. I didn't realise Kieran Bowie was 6'4". I knew he was tall. I knew he was big, but I didn't think he was 6'4". Because I was thinking maybe they'll play Kuracevic today because he's a big lad and he'll throw himself about. But I'm looking forward to seeing Bowie. I've only seen snippets of him because of his injury, so it'll be interesting to see how he does today. But listen, all the ingredients are there in both matches that BFC are covering today. They are technically local derbies, and you look at them and you think, massive victories here. And say the Hearts fans will come down. They always come down expecting us at Leicester Road. That's just the way of it over the last 30 years or so. But Hibs are flying, and it's really, there's so much to look forward to. And Neil Critchell said it, will it be an open, entertaining game? It's all pointing to be that, and let's hope that's exactly what we see.
We heard Brian highlighting the fact it was Craig Gordon's 25th Edinburgh derby. I don't know if John Collins will remember how many he played in, but I know for sure you will remember, John Robertson, how many you played in.
Yeah, I was 54 and just the 27
goals. Just one every 2 games.
I'm giving that because I'm going to register a comment here, Richard. Shocking. John Collins and I arrived at the same time today, and I was literally strip searched coming into the stadium here to find a digital ticket. To get a digital ticket. Mr. Collins swans in. How you doing? How's it going? On you go. Straight in the lift, straight up. Butler ready with a cup of tea for him. Honestly, disgraceful.
Well, you just played for the wrong club, John Robertson. That was
no, I played for the right club, Richard.
I mean, just in terms of memories, because John, you just said 27 goals you scored. I see that in the actual official list, Bobby Walker, Tommy Walker are listed ahead of you because they scored. Must have been, I don't know if it was like Easter Scotland League matches or friendlies.
Rosebery Shield and all that. I mean, listen, they don't count my. Bizarrely, for the first couple of seasons, I did play East Scotland. I did play Rosebery Shield and all that's nonsense, but they don't count them. And so, forget that nonsense. East Scotland Shield, come on. It's an under-18 trophy now, Richard, for goodness sake.
Right, you've got so many magnificent memories, Robbo, of this particular fixture, I would think. Is there one or two, or are there one or two that highlight?
Yeah, the first one, way back in 83, Richard, we come out with, Hibs had been relegated once, Hearts had been relegated twice and stayed down, and Hibs had completely dominated the 70s. That was the decade where it was all Hibs, the magnificent Turnbulls, Tornadoes, the Stantons and Cropley's, Edwards, Duncan, etc. So when we came into it, we were heavy underdogs. Everybody expected Hibs to win. They went 1-0 up. Then I equalised early second half with probably the best derby goal I've ever scored. Hibs went 2-0 up. I equalised again. Jimmy Bones scored the winner 3-2, and that game is credited, and rightly so, with the reversal in fortunes, because Hearts then went on to a 17-game unbeaten run, and then we lost a couple, and then we went on the famous 22 in a row, which the man to my left had a heavy part to play in it, unfortunately, for Hibs at that time. So there was that, and then a game later on, we played Hibs here. We were 2-1 down. Gary Mackay had been sent off, and I scored in the 93rd minute. But that was a goal that took me past Willie Bald's league record. Wow. Which at the time, what a place to do it, what a place to score it. Was fantastic to get us a point out of it. And it was a famous Gary Mackay. The two famous quotes that Gary Mackay was sent off. For mistaken identity that day, he stamped on Gareth Evans, but he thought it was Darren Jackson. And then my goal was the famous quote of the game's not over till the fat striker scores. It was the famous one. So that was that. So listen, lots of memories. I think only in those 54 games, only 7 defeats in that time over 16 years. So it was a fantastic time to be involved with Hearts.
I love how you threw in, I think, but all of us who know you will know that you're entirely accurate with that figure, because you just have to know. every single stat when it comes to your career in Hearts. John Collins, particular, as Robo pointed out there, that you perhaps suffered more defeats in the Edinburgh Derby than he did, but any particular highlights for you?
Well, sadly, a lot of difficult, disappointing results. One at Tynecastle.
Oh, what a shame.
Stevie Archibald banged in.
Sorry, I was at Newcastle that time. Not guilty. Not guilty.
I wonder how many times he's told those stories and those stats, man. I'm sitting here just rolling my eyes thinking, oh no, not this again. And I knew you were going to come to me and talk about my Hearts Hibs record. Not the best, I'm afraid, but there's only one team I scored a hat-trick against in my career, and that was Hearts. So I'll just throw that one in.
Yeah, that was for Celtic, presumably.
Yes, it was for Celtic. So, but as a manager, we knocked him out of the cup on our heading to win the League Cup. We gave him a pummeling here at Easter Road, so I enjoyed standing at the side watching that total domination that day. But on the pitch, I'm afraid, sorry, not too many good days.
Well, how significant is it? It was pointed out again in the interview that for 3 of the Hearts back 4, this is a first taste of the derby. Does that matter?
For me, I don't think it matters. A game of football is a game of football. Obviously, there'll be extra noise here and outside pressure, but once you step on that pitch, there's only one thing: you're focused on the game. We've played. Chris McCart, I know McCart very well. He was a young lad at Celtic, so he's a good football player. He likes to take it for the goalkeeper and pass it in the midfield. One of his, if you're looking for weaknesses, he's not the biggest centre half, so Bowie will be leaning on him, and Hibs I would be expecting him to go on him in high balls, so that'll be a challenge for him. They've got to try and win their headers. If you don't win it, make it difficult for them, but don't give silly free kicks away. I don't go. For me, if I'm a Hearts fan driving at the game, I'm a little bit worried about Taylor. I'm watching him. I think he's rash. I think if I was a betting man, I'd be betting him getting a booking or a red card. There's every possibility of that. He's shown in games that he can be rash, diving in 2-footed tackles. And as a manager, one thing you don't want players in derbies nowadays is going to ground. We talk about passion and aggression, making contact. Modern day football, I talked about it, is very dangerous now to talk like that as a manager. And you've got to be telling your players, be careful, stay on your feet. If it's a challenge, you go in for it, but don't go to ground. Modern day football players, slightest mistimed tackle going to ground and it's a red card, so I'm sure the managers will be reminding them of that.
The point John's making there as well, Richard, again, comes to the tactical aspect for me, is that yes, Taylor can be a bit rash at times, but going forward, the guy is a machine, an absolute machine. He'll get up and down this flank all day long, and that becomes another tactical battle, because you look at the Cadden brothers, Nicky in particular is unbelievable going forward, and some of the crosses he puts into the box are sensational, but he's going to have to deal with Penrice going the other way. Penrice will go up that line, he's a real attacking threat for Hearts going the other way, so the battle on that side of the pitch is going to be interesting, and the battle on this side of the pitch, Taylor against the other Cadden brother here, you're looking thinking, well, can Taylor take him the other way? Because that's what Hearts will want to do, and it's, as I say, technically speaking, if you look at it, the two spearmen on the pitch from the lineups are Rocky Bashiri in the centre of the Hibs defence and Lawrence Shankland playing off the front. The rest kind of match up against each other, and it's man v man, and where do you get, I'll be interested to see how Hearts allow Hibs to come out. Will Hibs bang it long, or will they leave Bashiri on the ball and say, okay, you're not the best passer of the ball, let's see if we can let you get on it and then pressure you from there to see how they go about it. Now, if I'm Bashiri, it's an easy one. You just launch it long to Bowie and go for the flick anyway. Hibs, on the other hand, can say to Hearts, right, okay, well, we're going to set traps away. We'll go man for man, Bowie and Boyle against the two centre-backs, which would mean Penrice and Taylor have to drop short to get the ball. That then gives it the wee interesting part. Do the Cadden brothers push on and try and set the traps, say, right, throw it to them and then we're on you? But if they do that, Hearts could very quickly, and it was a ball that John Collins was particularly very good at, if the two fullbacks can get it into the midfield man early and he just turned that one round the corner, Hibs could be in trouble, because if the ball's turned round the corner from Grant or Sibbald into Kabangu or Wilson running into the space behind, then it causes problems. So tactically, it's going to be really, really interesting today.
For me, my point of view, bravery is a big word. Now, Hearts, I've spoken to Neil Critchley when I've watched Hearts. I think they do try and build from the back. They're possession-based, and you've got to be brave to do that. And it starts with your goalkeeper usually. It's going to be interesting. Do they try and build from the back, or does Craig Gordon launch it? If he launches it to Hibs' three big central defenders, Hibs 8 out of 10 times will win the header, I would imagine. Then it comes to that second ball area, and it's going to drop in. Does it drop into the Shankland area? Is he really good at winning second balls? I would say no. Is he good at taking it in if people play it at his feet? So I think Hearts, from Hearts' point of view, they've got to get it into their midfield players. Can they get it to Shankland? And when Shankland gets turned facing Hibs goal, he's proved he can play little killer passes for his front two to run onto. So that's, for me, it's going to be interesting how the Hearts start the game. Because if they make it a fight and go long, make it a battle, I think Hibs will win the game.
I think a lot of people seeing Hibernian as favourites simply because of this run. I mean, it is remarkable. It's 14 games unbeaten now in all competitions. It's 12 in the league, so they've surpassed the unbeaten run that Aberdeen had at the start. Their incredible start to the campaign. Look back to that weekend with the last loss, 7th of December, John Robertson. It was 3-0 at Celtic Park. At that point, Hibernian, 16 games in, remember. Hibernian, bottom of the table, 12 points. Yeah. Midlothian, second bottom, 13 points. The turnaround now, I know Hearts' turnaround hasn't just been quite as spectacular, but it's still been pretty impressive. What these two have done in the last few months is remarkable, isn't it?
It is, of course it is. But let's put the first thing in place. The fact that they were both bottom and second bottom was a disgrace to begin with. They shouldn't have been there. And I know it's easy to say that, and I'm not being disrespectful to other clubs. I just feel with the quality that they had, even at the start of the season, they shouldn't be there. But both clubs have responded remarkably in it. And then I was looking some last night. They've got one of the Hearts websites. They've got like a Neil Critchley league table that he's only 1 point behind David Gray, and in the same amount of games since he's come in, which is quite incredible, really. But what I like about I remember at a European game, I think it was Hearts versus Heidenheim, I had a chat with Liam Craig and David Gray, and I was really, really impressed with the way David spoke. We were just chatting in general at Tynecastle, one of the lounges, and he was very, very, I wouldn't say he was laid back, but he was very calm and said, look John, we're no far away, the goals are losing late on, and some of the goals are given away. He says, I can just sort that out, we'll be fine. He says, I'm telling you, we'll be fine. He says, because the other end of the park, we're doing okay, but we're losing some silly goals. He says, with panic, he says, the last 5 minutes of the game and then in injury time, we're panicking. They've not got the confidence to see the game out. He sorted that. He stumbled onto he was playing a back four at the time. He stumbled onto the back three. It's worked an absolute treat for him. Hibs, as John says, they look strong right down the centre of the park with the three big central defenders, Newell and Triantis in the middle, and the combination of whichever strikers they do. The bonus has come from his wing backs, whether it's the Caddens or whether it's Miller being in there, or Robita at times. So he's found a formation that really, really suits the personality he's got at the club. And he said he's got that mixer now. Kuracevic can come on, Gale can come on, as he did to great effect in the last derby, and they've started to get results. As John says, they're not blowing anybody away, but they're winning games. They're winning tight games where they were losing them. They're picking up the points that they acquired, and
that's 28 points from the last 12 matches as opposed to 12 from their opening 16.
Yeah, sensational, and that's what I'm saying, and I'm delighted for the young man, because as I said, he come across very calm, he come across nice, he was chatting away, he was very amiable, he wasn't panicking, you know. He understood that he needed results, but he didn't panic about it, and he stuck to his guns, and he's got Hibs where they want to be. And he's one of these appointments that, even from my perspective, I've met him a few times a year, and you thought, I hope it works for him, because he's a nice guy, and his history with the club here is really good. I hope today he loses, absolutely no doubt about that, but any other time he's one of these managers that you think, I hope it works for him, because he works extremely hard, and he goes about it in the right manner. So what he's done is great, but it shouldn't be dismissed with what Neil Critchley's done as well. He's come in under the radar, he's quiet, he's very unassuming, he talks very, very well. Again, like David Gray, he talks very calmly, he's very intelligent. Yep. And as we said today, we're looking at this game, and this will be, interestingly, and I can't remember a derby for a long time where you have probably the two most laid-back managers in the dugout, because David Gray doesn't tend to get into histrionics and flap about and argue with people, and Neil Critchley certainly doesn't. So you'll imagine if the game gets a bit feisty, how they'll react, but you can't see it. Their mannerism, as I say, is they're calm, they want to see what's going on, they don't want to miss anything that's happening during the matches. So whilst all around them will be full of passion and bedlam and intensity, I think the two guys will just go about their jobs in the way they have them.
Yeah, actually, you're right, both very impressive, and David Gray in particular, just in the sense that John Collins, he was under a lot of pressure, wasn't he? And I've got to say, I was hugely impressed with David, how he handled all the post-match interviews, defeat after defeat after defeat.
And I think when you consider he was just a rookie, it was his first big job. It was a hero with the fans, and everybody wanted him in. The whole fans were united behind him to start with, and he got off to a stinking start. And it would be easier for him to come into the interviews and look panicked and look for blame and be flustered and take the bait when the journalists are goading him a little bit, as journalists do. But he stayed very calm, and I think that's why I backed him. I thought after every game he was composed, he was calm. They were losing late goal after late goal, silly red cards, but as I said at the time, it was just one goal defeats. It's fine margins he was losing by, and all of a sudden they get the result against Aberdeen here in Conference, and then they get the next result and it starts to roll, and all of a sudden the VAR decisions are going for them, the bookings are going to the opposition, the corners and little 50-50 decisions have started to go Hibs' way. That's the last two games they've won. The VAR decisions have went with them. I mean, Dundee United goal midweek, if that was the start of the season, it would have went the other way. It should have been counted it, but luck's going their way. However, we'll counter that by there's a terrific unity in the team, there's a work ethic, everybody's working together. I'm going to talk about one player. So Hoylake came in at the start of the season, and I really liked him when I'm looking at him on the ball. But what you don't get with a 34-year-old, 35-year-old, you don't get legs running about the pitch. In this pitch at Easter Road, you need legs in the team. See, if you've not got legs, the pitch works against you. So looking at Hibs' team now, Bowie comes in, he's got good legs, he runs. Boyle at the top of the pitch will run all day. The Caddens have got legs. The only place they've not got real legs is in the middle of the pitch. Yule and Triantis. They're the only two I would say are maybe a little bit one-paced. They're good football players, but they don't get about. So those two are just sitting side by side each other, complementing each other. Marius Welsh has come in recent weeks, and he's done really well. He has got legs. That's why he's in the team now. And it'll be hard to shift him. He keeps playing the way he is. But in the three centre halves, he changed to the three central defence. So that's tightened up the central area. And also the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper at the start of the season wasn't making any saves. His distribution was poor. So they brought in the second goalkeeper, and he's been making saves. Put all that together and you get victories instead of defeats. Absolutely. You get joy and happiness instead of moans and groans.
Well, let's hear from David Gray, the man who has orchestrated this remarkable turnaround. He is now live with Brian McLaughlin.
Yeah, Richard, I can tell you that David Gray's enjoying the tunes that's blasting out here at Easter Road. I know you like your music, David. You got a guitar for Christmas, I think, didn't you?
I did indeed, yeah. Not that I've had the chance to play it very often, right enough. I think that was the thing. The wife bought me a nice new guitar, and every time I bring it out, she makes that same face she made with the old one, which is, oh no, again. So, not really had it out as much as I'd like.
So what sort of tune are we going to have from your team today?
Oh, I think obviously we want to keep this momentum going. It's a brilliant opportunity for us. It's a great game to look forward to. And then when you think back to where the two teams met the last time, the position we found ourselves in, it's credit to where we are now and all the talk round about it. But as I've mentioned to the players several times, our run's been fantastic. But the form book, everything else that comes with it goes out the window in derbies. It's very much about the team that can settle, but they need to look forward to these games because they don't come around very often. You're way more experienced than Neil Critchley in these games, having been a player, a captain and a manager. What is so different about them? I think they're just always, the two clubs hunting in the one city, the rivalry that's with it. what it means to both sets of supporters, the scenes when you do manage to get a positive result and the feeling that you're able to get. I mentioned it during the week as well. Yes, I was fortunate enough to play in a few of these, but it's the games that everybody wants to play, and when I see it now, it's the time I miss playing. It's my playing days when I miss playing, is these games, these fixtures. Love to be still part of them, but they're only good when you come out with a positive result. So that's also the thing you need to get on the other side. You need to get that message over to the players, but you also can't get caught up in the fact and be too high in your emotions and going into the game. You need to be calm in the chaos. That's a quote I've used a lot this week about making sure we settle in the game and impose ourselves and keep this momentum going and what we've got. And our focus doesn't change. Yes, it's Hearts at home in a derby, so you need to contend with everything it means with that. But if we win the game today with the early kick-off, we go above Aberdeen into third, and that's been the challenge every week, is to try and catch the team in front of us, and from kick-off today we can go above Aberdeen. So that's the key message to the players still. That doesn't change.
In terms of your role as manager, David, how different is that from that as being a captain? Because you want the players out there to be on top and but not play the case bad, but just play the game of football.
I think it's just making sure they're all aware of their jobs and understanding fully that we prepared them properly, tactically, we've got a game plan in place, and making sure the players really believe in it and trust in it. Now, they've definitely done that for a number of weeks now, but it's always the same thing. You can have the best laid plans in the world, you can, once that whistle blows and they get over that white line and they do it themselves, players, it's up to players to then go and carry that out and carry the information out. And as always, the team that settles quickest in the derbies usually has a positive afternoon, and we need to make sure we try and do that.
Tell us about Kieran Bowie and how impressed you've been and having to wait so long to get his opportunity. This is his first start in Edinburgh Derby today.
Yeah, first start in Edinburgh Derby. Obviously his first start last week against Celtic for a long time out. I spoke a lot about him recently. It was a big factor in January when knowing he was coming back, and it almost feels like a new signing. We really felt that. I was really gutted for him at the start of the season, and it shows the strength of his character and his mentality that he was able to come back in such a good physical condition, because it was his second time he's injured that hamstring. You know, that's a significant injury, a significant time out injury for such a young boy to come through that at the stage he has, but to bounce back the way he has is really credit to his character and the hard work he put in and every single day in the gym, and the strength and conditioning team as well, and the physios to get him back all at the same time. So massive effort from everybody involved, and it's just great to see him back playing with a smile on his face.
We've been talking about how calm both yourself and Neil Critchley look in the dugout. What's going on inside you though when that first ball's kicked?
No, I think it's like anything. There's obviously nerves, there's all these things that happen, but the minute the whistle goes, I think any manager standing outside the pitch will see it. You're so caught up in the game and try to work out how best to try and get a foothold in the game. If things are going well, why are they going well? You're constantly asking yourself questions, and what happens, what's the opposition doing? So there's a million and one things going on. It's the same as when I played. As a player, you stand in the tunnel, you're nervous. The minute it goes, all the nerves go away and it's just playing football. So it is about how can you impact the game for the side and making sure the players are ready for it.
You're wearing a different jacket now in terms of your role here at the club. Is it fair that managers at Hearts and Hibs are judged on results in these games? Because that tends to be the case.
I don't think it's a case of being judged on them purely. I think it's about, you get judged every single time you stand at the side of the pitch and every result that you have. And I think in the fan base, you always have the incentive if you can win over your local rivals, what that means, and people remember them. But people always remember the good days. So if you can have more positive days than negative ones, then you should come out on top.
Appreciate your time, David. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
David Gray chatting with Brian, steeped in this fixture, knows it inside out. I thought John Collins, that was a great quote, wasn't it? You need to be calm in the chaos. That sums up what the players are going to have to cope with this afternoon.
100%. You need calmness, you need confidence, but what can sometimes slip into is slackness and overconfidence. That's what you don't want. But his message is right. He'll want his players to loose balls. You've got to pick up the loose balls, second balls, early doors. Can you get control of the ball? Can you get the opposition work their goalkeeper early in the game? Can you play it in and around their box? That's the key. If you can get that first goal at home, you get the home fans behind you. As a manager, you analyse your opponent and you think, what's their weaknesses? Can we attack your weaknesses? On the other side, you think, what's our strengths? Who's key players in Hibs' team? Can we feed them in the final third? Cadden. Can you get the ball wide and get service? That's the key. It was Boyle. He's been the wide player for a number of years, but now he's going to play through central. But in the wide areas, I think that's key for Hibs. Can the wide central defenders get off the goalkeeper and fire it to the wide players early? Because when you've got those wide players as strikers, you know they like putting balls in the box, and the opposition position centre-halves, they're always on edge because they know it's coming in. And so I'm expecting to see goals here today.
I think we're all anticipating that. We're just over 20 minutes away from kick-off. We'll continue the build-up to the latest Edinburgh derby in just a few moments. Let's take time out to look back on the action from yesterday in the Scottish Premiership.
Every goal, every game, every kick of the ball live. From Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. Rangers versus Motherwell.
Nice passing field for Slattery. He's battled for Motherwell. He puts it in the bottom corner. And Motherwell have doubled the lead at Ibrox. Hibernian, first time pass, and it's missed by Casey. Strike, it's in. Desser scores. And it is game on once more. Rangers 1, Motherwell 2.
Really disappointing. I'm not going to stand here and say otherwise and try and paint a different picture. Never seen it coming. There's obviously a clear problem in terms of playing at home. But listen, I'm going to be really positive with it. I'm going to try and sort the problem. I'm going to try and give it everything to try and sort the problem.
Very important was the first half, that we are ready from begin. We want to win the duels, that we be aggressive, that we perhaps change the atmosphere in the stadium, and I think the guys did it really well, and also our supporters, and then we are 2 up, and then we defended till the end.
St Mirren versus Celtic.
Knocked half away, but then into the net. Killian Phillips scores, and for the second time this evening, St Mirren are back level against the champions.
Maida, can he get the requisite touch? He can, he's on the left, and he scores again.
Dyson Maida's dream season continues, and he's sealed the deal for the champions. St Mirren 2, Celtic 4.
Sloop looks to get the cross in, he's found Yang, and he's got another one!
In second half, stoppage time to absolutely underline their dominance. It is St Mirren 2, Celtic 5.
As many teams press Celtic like that and create that many chances, but ultimately we didn't take enough of them. There was probably 7 or 8 really clear chances that we don't finish off, and it's probably been the story of the season. There's very good points in that performance, as there has been over the last 4 games, but we've only come out with 3 points.
It's one of my favourite results of the season, coming to St Mirren, who everyone knows, really tough team to play against. So we knew we had to be good today on a difficult pitch, and to score 5 goals and be as creative as we were, especially in the second half. It's a brilliant 3 points for us.
Ross County versus Kilmarnock.
Phillips, who scored the goal in a scramble, it's ended up in the net, but this may well be checked. The goal's been given, on we go, 1-0 Ross County.
Very hard fought, a really important 3 points, another 3 points to where we want to get to, puts us on 35 points. 35 points was our total last season. We've now got 9 games to really add to that.
Tough one. The effort for the players was magnificent. We kept going. We were the dominant team, and you don't normally see a lot of teams doing that exactly up here. We gave it a go. Unfortunately, it wasn't to get anything from the game, and it's been a tough week. We're close at Aberdeen. We're close today. Close against Rangers.
Dundee versus St Johnstone.
It's a goal for St Johnstone. Quite magnificent down the right hand side. A lovely little clip in for Mackenzie Kirk. They've looked cool, calm, and they deserve this lead. But they're okay now. They're okay now because it's level. It's Simon Murray that's just sneaked in at the back post. They were depressed. They're now elated. 1-1.
It's a bit bittersweet. First half, but St Johnstone were better. When we get the goal back, I think we look like the team most likely to win in the game. We've had the opportunities, and I think the boys need to take confidence from that. And the most pleasing aspect for me today is I've got my captain back.
In these games, when we cannot win and get all the 3 points, we have lost it. So today we could not win, but we were able to get the draw. So I'm very pleased with that, and it was a tough game. We played some good football, we did our stuff, and then I'm very happy how we defended these some moments. We need to throw our bodies on the line. Overall, okay away performance.
Every goal, every game, every kick of the ball live.
That was a huge game at the bottom of the table. A big point for Dundee, perhaps, just to stop the rot in terms of these defeats that have been suffering. And also, of course, it just kept St Johnstone at bay. 3 points, the deficits at the bottom. Kilmarnock just ahead of those now. Ross County moving up with that victory. St Mirren, of course, slipping back down by losing out that thrilling game. And a remarkable game, I've got to say. I listened to it on the way back up the road from Alloway yesterday. Great commentary from the guys. 3-2 when I left the car, 5-2 by the time I got into the house. Remarkable the way that Celtic finished that one off. Ross County, as I said, with that victory. Tough week for Kilmarnock, as we heard from Derek McInnes. The big result, no doubt about it, John Robertson, was that victory for Motherwell Rangers for the second successive match under Barry Ferguson, going 2-0 down. They found a way at Rugby Park. They did not find a way yesterday.
It sounded very much deja vu, Richard. Also, I was up at Dingwall yesterday, but I was down at Perth on Wednesday covering St Johnstone and Ross County, and you heard Kilmarnock going that 2-goal lead. Possibly could have been 3, 4, 5 in the first half hour. Then Rangers got the goal. You think, oh aye, this will be interesting now. And of course Rangers run out winners in the second half, 4-2. And yesterday was the same. Motherwell scored a poor attempt by Jack Butland to keep out, and then they miss an absolute snip. The young lad sparrows through and blasts it into the side net when he should score. Then they go 2-0 up. You're going, oh, here we go again. And then history over the years tells you Rangers score early second half. You're thinking, aye, here we go. They'll come back. Of course, the goal disallowed to VAR, missed a few chances and didn't manage to turn it around. And you're thinking, wow. And then I was laughing because we all try to be as neutral as we can. And Stephen Craigan at the end couldn't help himself. It was brilliant when it got to the stage where, it's finished 2-1, and Motherwell haven't won here. And he says, for ages, then they won 2 in a row, but I don't care. Absolutely brilliant partisanship from Stephen going.
Yeah.
Fantastic. He says the Motherwell fans in the corner, but you're just thinking, for Barry and Billy and Neil, you're thinking, what are they finding in there at the moment? Is it a weak mentality? Are they not taking stuff on board? Because they just repeat. It seems like it's the repeat of the bad games against North Clermont, where they have lots of the ball but weren't really taking on instruction on how to do it, and they're lacking in confidence. I don't think there's any doubt about that, but they're still creating chances but not taking them. But as you say, the lads would have gone in there thinking, we'll get a tune out of them. Good games. They got out of jail against Kilmarnock, right? Motherwell at home, come on, let's get a really good, strong, positive performance, maybe win by 2 or 3 goals, and then suddenly, within 20 minutes, they're 2-0 down, and you're thinking, oh my goodness, what's going on here? So, standout result of the weekend so far, definitely Motherwell.
Yeah, John Collins, inevitably it'll get kind of lost in the noise to a large extent, but great credit to Michael Wimmer, who's just in the door and has now had a very good week for him, you've got to say, culminating with that victory.
A fantastic start to his Motherwell career. I think what you've got with Rangers now is the fear factor's gone from the opposition. They see vulnerabilities, they see a poor defence, so they're not going to Ibrox these days and just sitting back and panicking. I think the mindset is now with Derek McInnes midweek is go and get the first goal. Turn the fans against them. You'll hear the boos instead of the cheers, and you might see 1 or 2 players hiding, no wanting the ball, and that's exactly what happens, and that is what's happening. So that's a challenge for the new coaches, is they're going to have to stop conceding goals, and they've got to be better at breaking teams down at Ibrox. That's the challenge, isn't it, for them? It's a challenge Clement had, and there was periods in his managerial career things were flying, going really well in Europe. It's unbelievable, but not being able to break down the so-called smaller teams.
But it just shows you, Richard, how players' mentalities can change, because this is the same Rangers 11, 12, 13 players. It battered Celtic 3-0 at Ibrox just over a month ago, and you're thinking, listen, we've all been there, we've all been in teams that are, when you're winning, like the Hibs team at the moment, you're winning, the games can't come quick enough, you're out there, you're thinking, that's great, I can do this, do that, do this, do that. It just happens off the cuff. But now, you're looking up, they beat Celtic, this is a chance now to kick on. Suddenly, they lost, they drew at Dundee, and then they lost again away to St Mirren, and you're thinking, what's happened here?
So if you're looking for positives over the last few months, Rangers probably the better team in the cup final, should have won the cup. That's fact. Beat Celtic 3-0. I was overseas, I never seen it. So you're thinking positive. They can't get much more positive in the last couple of Old Firm games. They could have won the cup. Europe's been really, really positive, and they just haven't really, I think, breaking the teams down. And I think that was the next stage of Philip Clemens' plan was he's got to summer. Could he get wingers that can dribble? And could he get midfielders that get more shots, edge of the box, maybe more legs? But stage 1, 2, 3 in the development of any manager when he comes to a new club, and they pulled the plug. And Philippe maybe after stage 2, and his final stage was beating the smaller teams convincingly, like Celtic do week in, week out. That they pulled the trigger on the manager. Is it back to square one? A new manager is going to come in. He's going to want his own players. It's a rebuild again. And as we all know, if you're bringing overseas players in, very rarely do they adapt the first 6 months and you see the best of them. It's usually the second season you see the best of them. So it's going to be a tough one for Rangers. Everybody's excited about the new owners, but it's having money is one thing. Spending it wisely on a top coach and players that are better than what you've got is another thing. So a lot of work to be done.
Absolutely. Next chance for Rangers Thursday night, of course, full live commentary on Sports Sound. It's a 5 o'clock start for a 5:45 kick-off in the Europa League. Fenerbahce against Rangers. Throughout the week, listen out for the Scottish Football Daily podcast, published Monday to Friday. The SWPL highlights will be on the telly, BBC Scotland 7:30 on Monday night, and the SPFL Lower League highlights online, bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland. Lots more over the course of the week, which I'll tell you about a little bit later on. Just rounding things off in terms of yesterday, John Robertson, what are you thinking about the bottom of the league right now? St Johnstone still at the foot, but still 3 points behind Dundee. Kilmarnock just 3 points beyond that. St Mirren have slipped down. Ross County have moved up with their win, and that's remarkable, isn't it? Dawn saying there, that has matched our points tally from last season. We've still got 9 games to go.
The thing is, Dawn's again a bit like David Gray. He's found his system, Richard. 3-5-2. He's tried 3-4-3, 5-2-3. Then he's played 5-3-1-1. He's gone now 5-3-2. He's got it sorted. They know what they're doing. They've found that away form that needed to do to get wins. They've got that sorted. They've now started to win that's back-to-back home victories, so that's got them going a wee bit again. I've seen them all this week. Started off the week with Ross County against Dundee, and Ross County were excellent. It was their best performance of the season by a country mile. Comfortable 3-1 winners, and I thought, Dundee look poor. But Dundee were very, very poor. I thought they're in trouble. They could be in big trouble here. And then, we spoke about all the games, who was playing who. Then midweek, Dundee go at Motherwell. You're thinking, Dundee will probably turn Motherwell over because Motherwell's 7 defeats in the bounce. Motherwell turn them over under Vimmer's first home game, and you're thinking, Dundee in trouble. Can St Johnstone do? St Johnstone thoroughly deserved to beat Ross County. If it wasn't for Jordan Amisa, it would have been an even more comfortable victory, and the St Johnstone fans were up for it. And I'm thinking, goodness me, they're right in the hunt now, going down to Dens Park, just 3 points behind. Obviously they shared the spoil just there. It was funny because you hear both managers saying afterwards, it was a game we wanted to win, but it was important we didn't lose. So you wondered if the fear factor was cutting in there. Kilmarnock should have got something from Ross County yesterday. Again, Amisa was magnificent. He had 3 or 4 double saves. Bruce Anderson missed an absolute snip of a chance late on at Bobble, to be fair to him, but you still expect to put it away. And suddenly Ross County, without being as commanding as they have been, get themselves into a position where they can now look and go, you know what? Never mind looking behind us. Let's look and try and jump Hearts, jump St Mirren, and get ourselves, jump Motherwell, try and get ourselves into the top 6 and take relegation and playoffs right out of the equation. So it's just crazy. I've managed to see all the teams down there, and the one team I worry about at the moment would be Dundee. Just from what I saw, they were poor at County, but then yesterday they've dug out and by all accounts possibly could have went on to win the game in the second half, according to Willie Miller and the reports. So right now you can't honestly, Richard, I can't honestly say. Could I say I'm worried about St Johnstone? Yes, but they're in a great run of form. Dundee, yes, but they're more than capable, as we've seen. Then you've got Kilmarnock, who you're thinking, really, they should have won, could have got a win, possibly a draw was a fair result yesterday. You look there and thinking, they should be okay. County should be okay. Then St Mirren, you're thinking, that game yesterday reminded me of Hearts Rangers. The amount of chances St Mirren created against Celtic but didn't take them and end up paying the penalty as Hearts did against Rangers. You look at it thinking they should be fine. You just don't, and then you're looking at that middle area, top 6.
Well, we're just now just
mental.
4 or 5 games away from the split. I heard Liam saying during the commentary last night, actually, it's a great point. It is a very, very good season to get that 6th spot, because that takes away any concerns. Like, we're heading rapidly towards kick-off, but that was just a look back and all the action from yesterday. It is all about the top half of the table, the battle for the top 6, the battle for the European places. Remember, it's a 3 o'clock start here at Pittodrie, where Aberdeen are playing Dundee United. As things stand, it's Aberdeen 41 points, Hibernian and Dundee United both 40, Motherwell on 37, and Heart of Midlothian on 36. So Hearts having slipped out of the top half following Motherwell's incredible victory at Ibrox. They're heading across the city, hoping to get back up into the top half. Hibernian eyeing up 3rd place, and we heard John Collins, David Gray talking about that. Very focused. That's the target. We want to get the win, and indeed even a draw would see them up into 3rd place. But we want to get the win. We want to overtake Aberdeen. We want to put the pressure on them and Dundee United ahead of the meeting here at Pittodrie.
It's all we are expecting him to talk. The way his team's been playing, the results, the form they're in, scoring goals, winning games. We're going to be absolutely rammed here at Easter Road today, and every single Hibs fan are coming here today, I think, in expectation of 3 points, and that's been a long time. Most throughout the last few years, Hibs fans come hoping they're going to get a result, but not expecting. I wouldn't think these Hibs fans are expecting a result, and that's because the players have put on performances. Kick-off, straight from kick-off, I've no doubt Hibs will be looking to get the ball forward and put Hearts back 4 under pressure. That's what they did against Celtic. Tried to press Celtic, play the opposition's half, get the fans behind you. I think it's so important in Derby. Can you get that early goal and get the place, get your fans roaring? And that's the challenge. Again, calmness in derbies. Gone are the days when you're elbows and kicking and flying into tackles. That's what it was all about. We Robbo here getting his studs into centre halves. You know what it was like. Those days are gone. It's about calmness, controlled aggression. You've got to have the aggression, but it's got to be controlled, and that's the key from coaches just before the players go out. We want to win the second balls, but no diving into stupid tackle. We want the game to be finished with 11 in each team. No red cards.
Sorry, John, we touched on this earlier, Robert, but it'll be rare in recent years that both sides have gone into the Edinburgh Derby in quite such high spirits and so full of confidence.
Yeah, I mean, there's been plenty of times when both have been in the top 6 and going okay, but not under the run of form that they are at the moment, Richard. I think that's a big thing you pointed out. I said 14 games, Hibs unbeaten in all competitions, Hearts only 2 defeats in 10. So, yeah, and this is why, you heard Brian rightly saying, we're expecting goals, we're expecting this, we're expecting that. You hope so. You'd like to think that the form both teams are in, scoring goals for fun, that they'll put on a show here today, and it could be a 3-2, 3-3 absolute belter thriller. But listen, the two are sitting here know a lot of these games can be dour, they can be physical, dour, horrible, nasty, uneventful games, apart from the absolute fighting that's going on. But as John says, listen, the game's changed. We've played in derbies in Easter Road where you could have played without a ball. You know what I mean? You could have just gone on and let everybody fight it and then get on with it. Whereas you can't do that these days. You've got a bit, John's right, controlled aggression and get about it. Because the fans don't care. You've got people here that watch derbies in the 70s, 80s, 90s. They're still expecting you to go out there and smash a few Hibs players and smash a few Hearts players, because that's how they would play as a fan. If you give any Hibs fan today who could run a strip and say go out there, what do you expect them to do? They'll go and smash the first Hearts player they can see, because they're a fan and that's what they expect the Hibs players to do. You can't do that. It's going to be really interesting tactically which team can get control. Well, Hearts need to get the ball down and play and use their technical superiority over Hibs. If Hibs get the ball in the wide areas, it could be problems for Hearts. So it's tactically, it's going to be very, very interesting to see which formation comes out on top and who blinks first.
Incidentally, some news from down south. The former Hibernian manager Sean Maloney has been sacked by Wigan Athletic. It comes after a 2-1 home defeat to Reading. It's left Wigan in 15th place in League One, just one win from their last 7 matches. They did a good job, didn't they? They had that 8-point deduction last season, or the season before, in fact, and he comfortably kept them up, but the club have decided that things are not going the way they wanted, and Sean Maloney has been sacked by Wigan Athletic. We are minutes away now, in fact, perhaps even seconds from the players emerging. It is part of a double bill here on Sportshound this afternoon. It is sunny but very, very chilly here in the northeast at Pittodrie Stadium, where later it will be full live commentary. Willie Miller and Al Lamont joining me here for Aberdeen against Dundee United. That's to come, and in the week ahead, as I mentioned, the Scottish Football Daily podcast Monday to Friday, the SWPL highlights on the telly on BBC Scotland tomorrow night, the SPFL Lower League highlights online, Championship live on the telly on Tuesday night, Airdronians against Falkirk, Fenerbahce Rangers live on Sportsound on Thursday, and then next Friday we kick off our extended coverage of the Scottish Cup quarter-finals right across the weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, one game a day, and Friday night it will be Heart of Midlothian back in action against Dundee at Tynecastle. That's to come for them. Right now it is all about league business, it is all about supremacy in the capital, and it is all about getting 3 points and either moving back up into the top 6 in the case of Heart of Midlothian, or potentially up into third place for the hosts Hibernian. It is the capital clash that all of Edinburgh and beyond looks forward to. Full live commentary on Sportsound and BBC Radio Scotland with John Robertson, John Collins and Liam McLeod.
Yeah, what a game we've got to kick things off this Sunday afternoon here in Scotland's glorious capital, Edinburgh. Quite cloudy here, it is chilly, perhaps not quite as bright as it is up in the northeast, but it's still a very fine day for a game of football, and not just any game of football, the third Edinburgh derby of the season. Despite winning the last one, Hibs have actually only won 2 of the last 16 games against Hearts, who have had them where they want them for most of the recent clashes, but this is a Hibs team that hasn't lost in its last 14. A wonderful run of form, which is incredible when you consider they made their worst start to a league season since 1986, and they were close to making it their worst start in 45 years at one stage. Yet here they are. Even a draw takes them third ahead of that match at Pittodrie, which kicks off at 3. As the guys were saying, Hearts have been going about their business pretty well too. Just one defeat in their last 11. They've collected 20 points out of the last 27 available. So they are in fine fettle themselves. Just about ready to go here. Hibs line up with Smith in goal, O'Hara, Bushiri, Iredale, Chris Cadden, Mariah Welsh, Triantis, Nicky Cadden, Campbell, Boyle, Bowie. Hart, Gordon in goal, Taylor, Steinvender, McCart, Penrice, Grant, Beningamy, Spittle, Shankland, Wilson, Kabangu. It's the Hibees who kick things off, shooting from left to right towards the south stand, which is full to the brim with Hearts supporters. Hibs in the green and white, Hearts in the maroon and white will shoot towards the famous 5 end, right to left as we watch up in the heavens at the back of the main stand. And there's a touch for Bowie down that left hand side, which carries it behind for the goal kick. Who will settle the quickest? We shall find out. That goes behind for the goal kick, which Gordon takes quickly. Short, rolls it low, out to Taylor on the right, and it's a long ball forward there from the Costa Rican right back, which Hibs get onto on the far side. It's fired into the centre circle for Boyle, and then out to this near side for Chris Cadden. Level with the edge of the centre circle. Infield to Mariah Welsh. He goes down. Was he fouled by Spittle? Yes, says John Beaton, whose last 3 Edinburgh derbies were all here at Easter Road. He presides over the 6th all told, and Hibs have a free kick here for that foul by Blair Spittle.
I would expect it to get Nicky Cadden to whip this in. 2 Cadden brothers over the ball, right foot and a left footer.
And Nicky Cadden still wearing that mask on his face as he prepares to flight this in with his left boot, and we know what quality he possesses. His brother's there too. You would fancy Nicky Cadden does favour the left footer on this right hand side. He angles it into the back end of the box. It's headed away, an important header away by Beningame, and then sliced up high into the air, and that's going to eventually from Triantis go behind for the goal kick for Hearts. Second minute, nothing each, early stages. John Robertson.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think the first thing to pick up, Hibs have tweaked it. They've dropped Campbell away from Beningame, and Triantis is just keeping an eye on Lawrence Shanklin there. So Beningame, Hearts need to try and get Beningame on the ball if they can, to get that passing movement going, which will help them a little bit. But as I say, they're trying to stretch the Hibs back three here, so it's what we said though, Hibs are making Hearts kick it long, which should suit the back three.
So again, goalkeeper kicks it straight up the pitch to Hibs, strongest man in there. Makes no sense to me.
Yeah, it's been flipped back to the goalkeeper there, Gordon, by McCart. It's another long ball. This time it drops for George Grant, who fires it forward, looking for Wilson. Iredale wins the header. Now it's Nicky Cadden down the line there, looking for Campbell, who was the 2-goal hero against Celtic here 8 days ago. And he wins the throw-in off Gerald Taylor over on the far side. Nicky Cadden over it, about level with the edge of the centre circle in front of the east stand. Barely a seat to be had here at Easter Road this afternoon as the sun breaks through the clouds above. Back to Iredale, ball forward there, headed on by Campbell. Boyle helps it on its way. McCart will have to be careful here with Bowie lurking behind him. He gets it away, breaks the spittle off Mariah Welsh. Long ball forward, it's going to come all the way through to the Hibs goalkeeper Jordan Smith. He comes to the right hand side of his box before dragging it back into the area and picking it up. Hibs look like they've settled pretty well. David Gray will be happy with that. He played in this fixture, obviously, as well as managing it these days, but Hearts have pitched it back in the midfield through Beningame. Now it's with Shanklin to see the edge of the box. He shoots. Smith spells, breaks to the 18-yard line. Mariah Welsh clears, and then Chris Cadden trying to complete that clearance down on this near side, and he does so, and he finds touch. But despite Hibs settling quicker, it's Lawrence Shanklin who's the first chance of the match. He's got a good goal-scoring record in this fixture.
Came from good pressing from Hearts. Triantis sloppy on the ball, gets caught in possession. Shanklin, you know what he's got, you know what he's going to do at the edge of the box. He drives forward, good powerful shot down awkwardly in front of the keeper.
Yeah, it came from Beningame, as you said there. Beningame made up the ground. He's got the legs, and he made up the ground there, nipped it off Campbell straight into Shanklin, who's a spare man, drove at Hibs defence here, and it's a decent save. You know, it's straight at him, but there's lots of power and dip in it. So again, it shows that both teams, you know, they know what each other's about, and they know how they're going to play the game. And say if Hearts can get the ball down and pass it and press well, they can cause problems to Hibs on the counter.
He's got 6 Derby goals, Lawrence Shanklin. Only Hartley and Riordan have more this century in this fixture than Shanklin. O'Connor and Patalainen also managed 6. Scatchell scored 5 over his 2 spells, including twice in the Scottish Cup final 13 years ago. And Steinbender picks up and rolls it to his left there to McCart, who's on the halfway line. Long ball forward, looking to get Kabangu involved for the first time. Left hand side of the box, but Bashiri's strong, and he sees it behind for the goal kick. For me, it's nothing each, almost 5 played.
Kabanga's got to do better than it's a good ball from McCart up to him. He's the favourite. He's got to get a hold of that. Nothing worse for a midfielder when you see it's going to your forwards' feet. You won't make a run forward. He doesn't.
It's what you want as well. I think Kabangu 1-on-1 with Bashiri, if he can get the ball down and get at him with pace. But Bashiri showed his side of the game there, John. I thought really strong, got tight with Kabangu, just brushed him aside, which is how he'll want to deal with him.
Yeah, it's been quite the redemption arc for Rocky Bashiri over the course of the last few months. Wasn't quite a joke figure, but regular errors meant that I think the Hibs fans had their hearts in their mouths every time he was on the ball at the back. But now, at both ends of the pitch, scored some crucial goals. The winner at Ayr United in the Cup in the last round, set up their quarter-final with Celtic a week today.
It's funny though, Liam, you say that, but I always think, and Bashiri's form of late has been excellent, there's no doubt about that in both boxes. But I think he's always somebody who will make a mistake, give you a chance.
Martin Boyle chasing it down, he's got onto it and he scores! A wonderful goal! Brilliantly taken by Martin Boyle, who did not look favourite there, but he latched onto the long ball, and left hand side of the box, he got goal side and fires it past Craig Gordon. It is an outstanding finish, and Martin Boyle breaks the Derby deadlock in lead. Hibernian 1, Heart of Midlothian 0.
Long straight ball ball through the middle. What you've got with Martin Boyle is he chases lost causes. Taylor thinks he's getting there first, doesn't realise Boyle's right tight. Tremendous finish from a tight angle from Boyle. Tremendous. Poor defending. I said before the game, Taylor for me is a weakness. He was certainly weak there.
If you look at it first and foremost, Taylor will get most of the blame here, but when you watch the replays, Steinbinder just lets him run, thinking Taylor's quick enough, Taylor will deal with that. And by the way, Taylor is quick enough to deal with it, but he just switches off and you can't do that. And the form that Martin Boyle's in, he's got there, he stumped it past Craig Gordon. It's a soft goal for Hearts away, but you cannot deny the quality of the finish.
This place is absolutely bouncing, three sides of it certainly. Martin Boyle's 13th goal of the season has put Hibs in front in Derby and in the Edinburgh Derby. And one is a crucial match for both sides, no doubt about that. And now he might be in again. Boyle, another ball over the top. This time he puts it to his left for Campbell. Campbell, little turn there. I'm not sure he meant that. He stood on the ball, but he's worked it out to Nicky Cadden. Though there's a flag for offside on this near side. And it's Hibs 1, Hearts 0. What a start for David Gray.
The perfect start. We talk about Boyle before the game. He's playing central. He's electric pace. He's 32 years of age, but he's not losing any of his pace.
Yeah, to me, as I said, Taylor will get stick, but Steinwinder just lets him run as if to say, well, that's fine, you know, my fullback's covering me. But he didn't, and he got there, and it was a wonderful finish.
Ball cleared at the edge of the Hibs box by Jack Iredale. Header forward by Spittle. There's Shanklin lifted over the top. Wilson giving chase. Bushiri gets it half away. To Grant, who scores! Hearts level! Hearts level within 2 minutes! George Grant smashes it home into the roof of the net. It's wonderful from George Grant. And for Hearts, they are back on terms in the blink of an eye. What a start to the game here at Easter Road. It's Hibs 1, Hearts 1.
What a reply. Hibs are not happy. Bushiri's claiming that Wilson's bumped him off it. That's just, we talk about strength in the way, but Hibs don't deal with this time. The ball bounces, and my goodness me, what a finish from George Grant. He has smashed it past Smith, and if this goal counts, as I see John Beaton having a word with, he's having a word there with him, with young James Wilson, but they'll probably check it, but it didn't look anything wrong there at all.
I'm looking for my goalkeeper to come out and claim that and throw the central defenders. It's that little dangerous ball. It goes behind the centre half, and it's a slow bouncer in between them and the goalkeeper. They're looking
goal
for the
confirmed incidentally.
Goalkeepers, for me, the goalkeeper's got to come and take it originally, but then Rocky Bushiri's got to do better with his clearance.
Yeah, it sounds as though Iredale got in Bushiri's road. I think that was the problem for Hibs there. And Nicky Cadden's got a cut in his finger, so Hibs are down to 10 right now, trying to bandage that up as best they can. But what a start to proceedings here. We did wonder, and sometimes you come to Edinburgh derbies and they flatter to deceive a lot of the time, but this has caught fire immediately here. One apiece, not even 10 in. And it's Hearts with Steinwender just rolling it to his right for Grant, who justifies his inclusion in the starting 11. Neil Critchley put him in today.
It's actually funny, Liam, both inside the first 10 minutes, both formations are working, because Hibs have banged it on over the top for Boyle with his pace and got them in, and then Hearts equaliser comes with Shanklin finding space in the hole and knocking the little ball in behind. So it's who can work out or who can dominate with their formation. We said at the start it's going to be very, very interesting, and within the first 7-8 minutes both teams have played to their strength and got a goal.
It's the second goal of the season for George Grant. My goodness, he took that well. Both goals have been taken superbly well, haven't they?
Wonderful finishes.
Jordan Smith has a free kick for Hibs just to the right of his box. Clips it forward with the left foot. Underneath it is McCart, and then the header back forward there by O'Hara for Hibs into Hearts territory. Bowie clips it up to this right hand side looking for Chris Cadden, but it goes out for a Hearts throw in. Well, it's a busy old Easter Road, and they haven't had time really to catch their breath. If you were a late comer to this one, you're going to be very disappointed. And there's 2 goals as Chris Cadden tries to keep it in play, hasn't managed that, so Hearts have a throw in down below us. David Gray's out there having a word with the 4th official, who is Callum Scott. Throwing Hearts to Spittle, and then out for another throw-in off Chris Cadden. It's been taken quickly by Penrice. Kabangu gives chase. O'Hara gets it up high into the air where the clearance, more height and distance in it though. Triantis puts it back into his own area, and Bushiri gets it clear. Shankland trying to hold off Chris Cadden, gets the touch onto it. Grant tries to knock it back to Beningame, but Hibs clear. And as far as McCart hoists it forward, breaks to Wilson. The youngster stabs it to Spittle, then back onto the halfway line for McCart, and now it's with Penrice on this near side. Low ball for Shankland. He'll relish the battle today. This has been a great goal scoring season as he wins a throw in off O'Hara on this near side, but he had a part to play in that goal. Sees Hearts back on level terms, 12 in, 1-1. It's now with Spittle on this near side. Finds Shankland, back out to Penrice. Short ball to Shankland, little triangle of maroon shirts down below us, and Penrice has got it back to Shankland. Defended well by Triantis, but at the expense of a Hearts corner, the first of the match down on this near side.
It's a great start, honestly. You're just trying to catch your breath, as you've said there, Liam. Both teams have been at it right away. And, you know, we all equate the derby games, tight, stuffy, you know, physical to begin with. But this game has just opened up to exactly what we hoped it would be.
Hearts corner, Spittle over it, in swinger from this main stand side as they attack the famous 5N. It's not the worst delivery either, clawed away by Smith, and he's delighted to see Martin Boyle get onto it and clear, but Grant's on the scraps on the right, he crosses in, takes a deflection and goes behind for another corner.
Good little spell for Hearts, they're getting possession, pinning Hibs in. Hibs looking a little bit edgy in the central defence area.
Yeah, and I find it strange as well, because Hearts are not the biggest side in Oram. Yeah, you can see that there. I mean, the big guys, Steinwinder, Shankland, McCart and Wilson are the big lads, and yet, you know, the ball's played right under the barn and the goalkeeper's flapping it away. You'd think the Hibs with their physicality and height would be able to deal with this quite comfortably.
Goalkeeper doesn't come for much, I have to say. He's a bit of a liner.
In comes the corner from the other side. Again, it's a really good delivery, zipped in across the face of goal, but this time it goes behind for the goal kick on the reverse side of the goal frame at Penrice. Put a brilliant ball in there.
That's half a chance, because the referee's given a by kick here, so McCart must have got to the ball first, and as John said, Smith didn't look that comfortable at all under the cross ball.
The one thing, John Collins, I would say about Hibs just now, and it's a wonderful unbeaten run, they don't keep many clean sheets.
No. I agree. I think they're a bit sloppy every now and again at the back. The nerves come very quickly. When you talk about Rocky Bashir, everything he's doing brilliantly, but it still makes my heart rate rise every now and again.
It's going to go behind for a Hearts goal kick. Nicky Cadden down the left, battling with Taylor.
We've said before, he's, you know, even in the days we played, John, he's a defender that always gives you a chance. He'll make, you know, Alan McDonald, Jim Dersham say to us, you know, play in hand, because he'll give you something, and most of the game he strolls through, he glides through, but you see the clearance, panic, woof, ball right up in the air, and you think, oh aye, and that's the little signs as a striker. You think, okay, he's not too comfortable, I can get at him.
If you are just joining us, Martin Boyle gave Hibs the lead on 6 minutes. George Grant levelling just a couple later. That's where it's at. Hearts have enjoyed the bulk of possession since they equalised, and Penrice is on it midway inside the Hearts half, sliding in as Triantis wins it back for Hibs, but it's given away immediately. Beningame has it, and then Grant loops it up into the air, not what he intended, but Spittle beats it, Campbell to it, he shoots for goal and drags the right foot low shot wide of the left hand post.
There's a little edginess about Hibs just now. They've got to get a hold of the ball, calm things down. Everybody seems to be giving the ball away. Just calm it down.
It's funny you say calm down. That's exactly what Shankland said to Spittle there. Yeah. He's rushed his shot. I think the eyes have lit up thinking, oh, I've got a chance here, 25 yards out, and Shankland's just saying, just calm it down a wee bit. And it's exactly what David Gray said.
The two Hearts players that I pick out, and that's exactly what they've got in possession. Beningame and Shankland, they've got a calmness. When the ball comes to their feet, they slow the game down, their brains calmer. The rest running about like crazy too often.
Derbies, I suppose it's easy for your head to start swimming.
It is, but that's the key. The ones that can stay calm in the heat of the battle.
Campbell goes in and wins it back for Hibs, and then Bowie knocks it out to the left for Nicky Cadden, who rolls it back into his own half for Iredale. Square to Bushiri, who finds it well. He should have found O'Hara, maybe a bit too much on it for O'Hara, but Chris Cadden's bailed them out, kept it in play. It's just Kabangu thought he was going to get onto it, or at least win the throw-in on the near side. And Chris Cadden finds O'Hara, who finds Bushiri. Yeah, since Jordan Smith's come into the Hibs team, he's done brilliantly well, but it's just 4 clean sheets in what will be 19 appearances now. Grant found the net earlier. A long ball from Iredale down the left. Campbell gives chase, left-hand side of the Hearts box. He's got onto it, but he can only put it behind for the goal kick. It's 1-1 at Easter Road.
Again, it looks like Campbell was going to get that just slightly overhit, but in fairness to Campbell, he always chases lost causes. His attitude's spot on.
That's again a feature of the game so far, and Hibs have got 3 guys who will run beyond the ball, behind the defence. Boyle in particular, Bowie and Campbell just showed there from deep, and that's what Hearts have got to be wary of. The flat back 4, they've got to be wary of that. Whereas Hibs have to be wary going the other way of Hearts getting that ball. Beningame, Grant, Spittle, Shanklin linking up there, because that's where Hearts' strength is. And so far, both teams have actually had a fair deal of success playing the system.
Long ball from Craig Gordon, flicked on by Wilson. Hibs have it back though down the left. Long ball down that side for Bowie. Taylor this time defends it well. He's down by his own corner flag here. He plays it off Bowie and behind it goes. That'll do Hearts goal kick. That'll do Taylor a world of good there, because I think he was definitely affected with not the mistake, but he switched off and Boyle's got in, but that's what he needs. He's a couple of runs he's made now, he's got back, he's covered well, but there's no doubt this tactical aspect. Neither team's backing off, they're sticking to their systems, and they're both getting joy from it. It's with Craig Gordon. I mentioned found James Wilson's head earlier on. Craig Gordon had played 14 Edinburgh derbies before James Wilson was born. Wilson scored that late equaliser here the last time Hearts crossed the city. It's out for a Hearts throw-in. Penrice over it midway inside his own half on this near side. These two in the top 4 in the Premiership in the form table, going good guns at the moment, and it's Shanklin getting it back from Wilson, looking to return the favour, and he's found Wilson left hand side of the box, but it's well spotted there by Iredale, who covers across from his left centre back position to the right side of the penalty area and gets it away. It's really good defending. Tangle here between Penrice and Boyle. Hearts emerge with it right of the centre circle with Taylor. It's 1-1 here, and it's out on that right hand side with Kabangu. Turns it back to Grant and down the line to Taylor. Gives it back to Grant, and into his own half it goes for Steinwender, and then Grant didn't really control, he was under pressure. Hibs battling to win it back. Hearts somehow have managed to retain possession. Hibs have a man down, it's Josh Campbell. Hearts will play on. It's not a head knock, it's whether John Beaton thinks this might be a serious injury and he's going to have to stop play, which he has done now. And Josh Campbell, he's certainly clutching onto his left lower leg. I'm not sure exactly what the issue is, but he's down. He seems to be in some serious discomfort.
I don't think he's definitely hurt himself. I don't think he's one of those that rolls about and he's not been kicked. Fairness to the lad.
Yeah, there's nothing. There was no foul play there.
No, I think the Hearts player was stretching for it. I mean, well, it might be one of those knees to knees, which can be very, very painful. But I think Hearts miscontrolled it there a little bit.
That's right.
And then Campbell thought, I can get this, and he's lunged in, and I just think it's a coming together, the bang together. But
thankfully he's up. He's okay.
Yeah, it's good, but it's really good. I'm enjoying the tactical aspect of it at the moment, because both sides, I say, they're sticking to their guns, and Hibs have got a threat over the top. Hearts have got a threat when they get control possession. And as I say, so far, both teams are playing to that strength and causing problems for the other team when they get it.
I'd like to see Hibs vary a little bit when the outside central defender gets it. They're playing it in the hole, and it's worked a few times, but I'd like to see them feeding the wing backs.
Boyle on 6, Grant on 9, 1-1 at Easter Road. Game on again. And Josh Campbell's going to be okay. Hearts have it. McCart square to Steinwender. And the Austrian gives it back to McCart. Double cup winner with St Johnstone back in 21. He goes back to Craig Gordon, who clears with the left foot. Might break Wilson's way. Didn't look like it was going to make it that far. Wilson goes back to Taylor, and now Grant just inside his own half. And then Steinwender out to Taylor on the touchline. Nicky Cadden thought that had gone out of play. The linesman disagrees. Shanklin down the right, Wilson chasing. Still Wilson, he's done really well, because it looked like Iredale was going to have enough there, and Iredale brings Wilson crashing to the ground. It's gone behind for a goal kick, I think, is it? Or is the ref going to bring it back for the free kick? I think he has.
Yeah, good refereeing. He gave the advantage to start with it. eventually he's came back and given the free kick.
Wilson's really sharp, and he's shown already. He's about 5'10". What a leap he's gone for he's winning his headers against Iredale there, but it's good play again. And we've heard them saying how mature he is for a young lad and how
brave
he takes
as
stuff
well.
on. He is brave, but listen, you're getting clattered there.
Yeah.
You know you're getting clattered there if you get to the ball first, but it didn't hurt him. He got on with it. He's got himself into the box again.
Yeah, he's got a big heart. I like that. He's brave, good movement, but he takes hits.
Free kick, Hearts right in the touchline level with 18-yard line, and it comes headed away by the towering Bowie. Breaks to Spittle, who hits on the volley, blocked by Mariah Welsh at the edge of the box. And away it goes by Josh Campbell, but he's put it straight into touch for a Hearts throw-in.
He's got to do better with that, Josh Campbell. It's a simple one, played up the line. His teammate has taken his eye off it.
22 on the clock, one apiece. To come later, Aberdeen against Dundee United, the 3 o'clock kick-off at Pittodrie, another huge game in the battle for Europe, the battle for third. And if Celtic go on to win the Scottish Cup, that third place for the last season, for a while anyway, guaranteed league phase European football. Here come Hibs down the left. Both these teams will want to win the Scottish Cup, of course, as will Aberdeen, as that goes out to play on the far side for a Hibs throw in about level with the Hearts 18-yard line. Nicky Cadden over it. Played a quarter of this one. It's flown by in truth so far. Nicky Cadden looking for an option in green and white. He eventually gets one in Nectarios Triantis, gives it back to Nicky Cadden, back to Triantis, and then back to Iredale. Sweeps it into the centre circle. He was looking for Bashiri. It's not a great ball, and eventually comes through to O'Hara. Goes back to Smith, who's at the edge of his box. And that's exactly the kind of pass that, if it goes to an opposition player, you could be in big trouble.
It's just sloppy. He's got to do better with that. It's a straightforward pass. He's under no real pressure. 20-yard pass. He's got to execute it and get it to his teammate. He can't be missing the pass with 5 feet.
Cadden under pressure from Spittle. Goes back to O'Hara. And a low ball back to Smith. You say it's a pretty even game just now? Hearts just shading it? Pretty even. I think the goal gave Hibs the lift that they required early on, and thankfully for the Hearts perspective they've equalised that way, then had a nice good sort of 6, 7, 8 minute spell there. I think the game's settled down a bit now, and both teams are being more measured. Hibs are trying to work out how to get the ball into their wing backs. They got Nicky Cadden for the first time on the ball there, and Hearts are trying to set traps, because if they get it they'll certainly go 3 for 3 in the counter. So
I think from the build-up play, Hearts are better in the build-up play with their back 4 into the midfield. Hibs are a little bit edgy at the back.
Long ball forward for Hibs, which is cut out by McCart, who returns it into the Hibs half. Shanklin gets onto it, but he's given it straight to Triantis, who looks to set Boyle away, but well read by Steinbender. He gets onto it and knocks it out for a Hibs throw-in over on the far side.
Triantis picks up in the midfield. He's looking at the pass is right in front of him to Nicky Cadden. Instead he's tried to play the difficult one forward and give it away. Thankfully it ricocheted back and Hibs have got the throw-in. Got to do better, Triantis.
Bashiri gets it away before Kabangu get onto it. The edge of his box, finds O'Hara, finds Chris Cadden up the line, and field to Mariah Welsh, up to the happy line for Bowie, back to Triantis, long ball, Chris Cadden's chasing it, Craig Gordon's got his eyes on it, and it favours the keeper as he comes and gathers the bouncing ball and immediately releases George Grant, bowling it forward. He knocks it out to Wilson on that right hand side. He turns it back to Gerald Taylor, who started impressively in the opening day of the season against Rangers, then picked up an injury after he had a particularly bad afternoon at Dens Park, I think it was, wasn't it, quite early in the season. Then he was injured, but he's fought his way back from all that adversity. Steinbender finds McCart, and he squares it back to Steinbender midway inside his own half. 25 in, 1-1. So now with McCart again, forward to Spittle, first time back to Steinbender, now to the right for Taylor, and Steinbender again. It's incredible actually, the fact that we're sitting here watching these two and they're in such great form and they're battling for third spot, when you consider that they were occupying the bottom 2 positions in the league in the late autumn into the winter. And it's astonishing turnaround in both fortunes. You did suspect that it couldn't go on, but then these clubs have been there before, haven't they, over the last decade, where you're expecting them to turn a corner and it never happens, but they certainly are both motoring now.
Yeah, both had horrendous starts to the season, but with the squads they've got, they should have been doing better early in the season. But good news for both of them, we've turned it around. going for that third place, both of them now.
That's how consistent Hearts were last season. They're 16 points down on where they were at this stage last term. Yet third's still an option for them. It's going to be a pretty low points tally, I think, potentially, to acquire third this season.
And again, we're seeing now here, Hearts fine, controlled passing, but there's no width whatsoever. Unless Penrice or Taylor are prepared to bomb on to the wing-backs, there's no width. Hearts have got to come out in the middle like this.
Shanklin looking for Kabangu, slides in, thinks he's won the corner off Bushiri. He's not getting it. He's got his arms outstretched, appealing to John Beaton. And that's going to be a goal kick for Hibs. It's 1-1. Boyle gave Hibs the lead, cancelled out by Grant. That's where we're at.
So, Robbie, you're talking that they're passing about the back. They're not causing any problems with what they are doing. They're taking the juice and the legs out of Boyle and Bowie. They're both having to do a lot of work and running. And also it gives their forwards a time for a wee rest. Have a little rest. They keep it at the back.
It is. I mean, we know
it's getting the balance.
We know the balance. Hibs are definitely going over the top. They think that Bowie and Boyle, and rightly so, have got the legs of the Hearts back four. Hearts need to pass through, and they're being patient, and it's not often one thing you can say in a derby game. Be patient, knock it about, throw it about, roll it about, and they're getting there. And a couple of times there, but again, Kabangu, I thought he did get a corner off Rocky Bushiri there, but they've tried to slip him down the sides, and that's exactly what you want.
If they put Rocky Bushiri under any pressure, often he just laughs it out the pitch. There you go. That's about the third or fourth in this half already.
The Hibs have won 6 of their last 8 games, drawing the other 2. As we keep saying, unbeaten in 14. Before this current run started, and that 3-3 draw with Aberdeen here, they'd only won 1 of the previous 15 across all competition. Remarkable. Bushiri having to defend against Kabangu here, facing his own goal. He manages to turn and hook it clear. Steinbender's header to McCart. He heads it into the centre circle. Campbell gets something onto it, but it's Steinbender back onto it and forward to Shanklin. Down to the halfway line for Spittle. Rolls it low along the grass out to Penrice on the near side. He does likewise infield to Beningame. He switches it out to the right hand side for Taylor, who goes back to Steinbender. Getting closer to the half hour, 1 apiece. It's McCart, long ball with the left foot, Kabangu chasing, and that will be a simple one for O'Hara to see behind at the corner flag for a goal kick.
I mean, the long pass here from McCart is on. He's got to be able to drop it in. It's a big area to drop it in front of him.
It's a classic of, I always used to say to my guys as a coach as well, if you're on the halfway line, and you have to go long, can you pop it between the 18-yard line, the byline, the chance, so it can't go out of play? So the worst case scenario is have defenders knocking it out for a throw in there, but it's just too much on it. But there was a chance here. Kabangu made a great run into the channel. Spittle didn't see him. He was wanting that one round the corner we spoke about, and he just didn't quite play it.
Hibs have it with Campbell. Little touch out to Chris Cadden on the right. Boyle wants it, but he's in an offside position at the moment. Chris Cadden holding on to the ball, perhaps a bit too long though, and that allows Beningame to nick it back. But McCart sliced it out for a Hibs throw-in on this near side, midway inside Hearts territory. On the Hibs right as they attack the goal to the right. It's not a great ball by Triantis. Awkward for Iredale. He's done really well though. Mariah Wells picks up in the centre circle, and it's fired out to Nicky Cadden on the left. Down the touchline for Boyle, taking on Steinbender and Taylor and trying to win a throw-in, which he has done over there. It's actually worked out pretty well for the Hibs man, Martin Boyle.
Kenny went flat with regard goalmouth incident in the last 15 minutes. It started off on fire, but a lot of the plays have been in the middle area and the back areas now.
Martin Boyle continuing to captain Hibs. Joe Newell was just about ready to come back, but he's had a setback in his battles with injury. It's a really poor touch by O'Hara. It's straight to Spittle now. It's with Kabangu. Leaves it for Shanklin. He's in the box, but Bushiri plays it off Shanklin, who heads into the side net. Bushiri wasn't decisive at all there, and Shanklin almost profited from it. It stays though. Hibs 1, Hearts 1 on the half hour.
It's ended up a great chance for Shanklin. Poor pass to begin with. Hearts have set the trap. Kabangu gets through, makes a bit of a mess of it. It gets deflected about. Bushiri panics, flies it up in the air, and Shanklin onto Shanklin's head, and he just can't quite find the angle to knock it over Smith.
I mean, there's a nervousness in the Hibs back three.
Well, look at O'Hara, he's still shaking his head.
It's just panic. From Hearts, you've got to say, like, let's get them in possession of the ball and press them. If I was a Heartsman, that's what they're doing. In fairness, they're saying leave Bushiri on the ball, and that's what they're doing.
This will be a message Neil Critchley putting out to his players there, that this game is there for the taking right now. The Hibs looking a bit jittery at the back. Unusual for a team 14 unbeaten. And just that one defeat in the last 16, isn't it? Celtic Park was a game they felt hard done by, and Nikola Kukarevich missed 2 or 3 wonderful opportunities in that match in Glasgow's East End. Spittle picks up and rolls it forward to Kabangu. A little bit short with the pass, trying to get it back to Spittle. Campbell slides in, knocks it forward, but it's McCart to Beningame who knocks it into the centre circle for Grant. Side foot to Wilson, first time out to Taylor on the right hand side. Then just inside his own half to Grant. Back to Steinwender. Forward to Beningame. Again he's in the circle. Just rolling it to the right of it for Grant. Small forward charge down by Mariah Welsh, and it goes out for a Hearts throw-in over on the far side.
Yeah, Beningame frustrated there because he knew the ball was on to Shanklin, but he just didn't notice it in time. But as I said, the game settled down because Hibs are sitting off Hearts, and Hearts are quite happy to have the ball and try and play the football, whereas Hearts are setting traps for Hibs. So that's why most of the ball is at the back, and both teams are trying to work a wee trap. But the Hearts trap seems to be working a lot more than the Hibs one at the moment because of Bushiri at the central defence.
I think there's a calmness in the Hearts build-up play. You can see that more than there is at Hibs.
Beningame playing through to Kabangu, I think was offside, but he's in here, left hand side, he puts it into the net across the bows of Smith, but up goes the flag. It'll stay 1-1. They'll have a look at it now.
It looked tight. I tell you, it's the furthest away Hibs centre half is the only one I'd worry about here. On the near side, yes, it looks to the open eye that he's offside, but I just wonder if Iredale over the far side might be playing him on.
We shall see. The VAR's Nick Walsh, I think it's been checked and cleared, so no goal, and a major sigh of relief for the Hibs fans. That it's a great finish by Kabangu.
Terrific, right in the bottom corner, good ball through to him. It's good football from Hearts all round. Started at the back, through the middle, penetrating run, penetrating.
Yeah, here's Josh Campbell at the edge of the box, the other end shooting, blocked, breaks to Nicky Cadden from Mariah Welsh, fires it across, no takers at the near post or back post, and it stays Hibs 1, Hearts 1, and now it's come to life again in the final third.
All of a sudden, get the ball in Nicky Cadden. I seen it from first minute, feed him. He's drilled a magnificent ball right across the, I wouldn't say the 6 yard, it's 4 yards out, missed by inches by Boyle, wasn't it?
Tell you what, yeah, both ends is inches, because Kabangu looks very, very tight indeed. It was a very, very quick clearance of the offside there, and that one, what a ball that is. As a striker, you're throwing yourself in there the merest of touches, and it's in there. But
are you getting sneaky replays? I can't see any monitors. You're managing to see something.
A monitor in front of us there.
Well, I'm glad you two can see it. That's all that matters.
That's all right. But no, both teams. I mean, we went just about in an instant. Went from 1-1 to 2-2.
It's come to life again, hasn't it? Josh Campbell's taken another dull one, and this time Hibs will get the free kick.
Games came alive again.
Yeah, it's a free kick. This is midway inside Hearts territory. It's about 12 yards, I would suggest, roughly away from the main stand side touchline. Midway inside the Hearts half. Chance to load the box in green and white shirts here. And we are just over 10 minutes from the end of the 45. Possession wise, it's Hearts slightly shading at 55 to 45. 7 Hearts touches in the box compared to 1 for Hibs. It's a crucial one though. Boyle, it's a shot past Gordon early on. It's 1-1. Boyle and Nicky Cadden over the free kick. It's Boyle this time, right-footed, bends it towards the left angle of the 6 yard box, comes off ahead. Bowie keeps it in play, fires it back to the far side of the box. Nicky Cadden going after it, but can't control, and Hearts clear out for a throw-in. But they're having a look for a possible penalty here, by the way. So we shall see what comes of this. But if it is a penalty, it would be a Hibs penalty. That check has been cleared, so no penalty. I thought there might have been a handball there, but nothing doing in that regard. It will be a Hibs throw-in only on this near side. Almost level with the edge of the D of the Hearts box, and Chris Cadden bowls it back to O'Hara. It goes all the way back to Jordan Smith. 1-1, so evenly poised, right on the knife edge this derby, as they tend to be.
Yeah, listen, I think Hearts have had slightly the better of it. Shanklin had a chance there, and Kabangu is just offside. Kabangu, sorry, is just offside, and then Hibs within inches. So it's been a really, really absorbing clash. Both teams are playing exactly the way we thought they would play, and both teams are causing problems exactly how we thought they could cause problems.
Here's Chris Cadden driving down the right hand side for Hibs, rolls it to Boyle, little flick looking for Bowie, almost came to Nicky Cadden, left hand side of the box. Taylor gets there first, under pressure from Bowie, down goes Taylor, and the Hibs fans are irate about that, but Gerald Taylor, he's gone down, he's hoping the whistle's coming. It did, and he's got the free kick.
Yeah, he's bought it. He's been clever there. He's let the Hibs player run at the back of him. But I tell you what, he didn't realise Cadden was behind him there. He let that ball run behind him. If Cadden's another 2 yards closer, he could have got onto that. But listen, it's a lot better game than maybe perhaps we anticipated. It was a game we hoped for, an open game with chances at both ends, and that's living up to it. As I said, Hearts probably slightly happier being the away side come down. The Shankland chance, as I say, was another clear one, but and they've played the more controlled football, but there's no doubt Hibs on the break have got an immense threat as well.
Hibs have got that pace with Boyle over the top every time.
Chris Cadden back to Brian Welsh in the halfway line, into his own half for Bushiri. It was 1-1 when they met here earlier on in the season, in the autumn. Hibs went down Gorgie Dalry and won 2-1, that Dwight Gale goal down the Gorgie Road. They won at Tynecastle for the first time in a while, and looking actually to win back-to-back games against, or league games against Hearts in the same season for the first time since Mixu Patalainen was in charge at Easter Road in 2009. That long ball forward is cleared by Penrice. Now it's with Bushiri. Low ball to the right for O'Hara. His pass is wavered too, goes straight to Beningame, who finds Spittle and goes back to McCart. Now with Grant, the Hearts goal scorer, finds Taylor. Taylor under pressure from Nicky Cadden, finds Wilson, who's looking to return it to Taylor, who's on his bike here, and he's driven in behind, he's away from Triantis. Poor touch. Bushiri slams into the challenge, and Mariah Welsh flicks it nonchalantly to Triantis. Triantis goes long, and Boyle will give chase, but it'll skip right through to Craig Gordon, and it will stay Hibs 1, Hearts 1, 6.5 to the end of the 45.
That's an opportunity for Hearts. Taylor does brilliantly, links up with Wilson, a little 1-2. He does the first part brilliantly. He gets past Iredale, shrugs him out the way, then his next touch is horrendous. He just completely, I don't know if it's come off his shins, it bobbles in, because if he takes one more good touch, he's got Kabangu and Shankland in the middle of it, just rolls it across the 6-yard line. It's a potential tap-in for them, but his second touch there was terrible.
He's injured incidentally.
So from the sublime to the horrendous in a blink of an eye. His pace was unbelievable. Left Triantis for dead. I mean, about 4 yards, I'm in 10. And then the most simple thing for us, lift your head, play it across the face, and it takes an extra bad touch.
He's back up, he's okay, limping a little bit. Gerald Taylor is brilliant from James Wilson, wasn't it? It's outstanding. I mean, he's not playing like a 17-year-old.
No, I mean, that's the aspect of it. He's way ahead of schedule. I mean, they're talking 18 next month. He's got 4 or 5 goals this season so far. Six. It's his intelligence, his play. John said it at the top of the programme, he plays with his head up. He plays, he sees things, he knows what he's doing. But it's funny because, again, sitting up here, what a view. The Hibs fans are screaming for Bushiri to hit the diagonal to the wing backs. Yep. And everybody in the stand can see it's on, but he's just not capable.
It was sad when the fans who've never kicked the ball can see a pass and your central defender can't see it. The manager's got to get the message to him. Every time he gets it, he's playing it to the right. We want Nicky Cadden fed on the opposite side of the pitch.
1-1 at Easter Road, 40-minute mark. It is Steinbender rolling it low out to Taylor on the right-hand side. Plays it straight off Nicky Cadden and out for a Hearts throw-in. Over there, and Taylor is over it. Less than 2 hours away from kick-off at Pittodrie's Aberdeen play Dundee United. As things stand, Hibs would be in third spot ahead of that game on goal difference. Aberdeen's goal difference is by far the worst of the third place challengers right now. That throw-in is bowled forward there by Iredale. It eventually settles at the feet of Campbell, but Beningame gets in there ahead of Triantis, and now Shankland's driving forward, looking to find Kabangu in behind O'Hara. He almost found him too, but O'Hara reacts well and slides in, puts it out for a throw, and he's injured himself in the act of the tackle there. It will be a throw-in when all is said and done for Hearts in the attacking third.
Good attacking play and good defending as well. It's tough to say that incident. Beningame again does what he's brilliant at. He smuggles that ball off the Hibs midfield, immediately gets into Shanklin. Shanklin knows Kabangu's got pace to burn. He just didn't put enough on it there. It's a good ball in a good area, and O'Hara's had to get back there and slide in, and there's just a wee coming together. So,
and from Hearts' point of view, they've done their homework against Hibs last week against Celtic. They played a high line, so a high line leaves lots of space for a quick striker. So that's got to be their game plan. Domingo winning it, Shanklin, him playing the killer pass in behind the back three.
Yeah, we said that at the start of the game, that Shanklin would be the spare man, Bushiri would be the spare man. There's no doubt Hearts are getting more out of their spare man than Hibs at the moment, but it's when Hearts, Beningame in particular, Grant has done very well as well. They nick that ball, and as soon as they nick it, it's into Shanklin's feet, and Hearts are on the turn and getting at Hibs back three. But I tell you what, I mean, we're 42 minutes in now. Normally you enjoy the derby games because your team's winning. I'm really enjoying what I'm seeing here today from both teams. Both teams are having a real go at it. They both want to win the match, yes, we know that, but they're doing it through their strengths rather than the opposition's weaknesses.
I think the weakness of both teams is the back line, so we should see more goals.
Yeah, I always felt, you think of the derbies in the 1990s when a lot of the time it was 1-0 Hearts, Robertson, I guess, but there weren't too many classics when it came to the game. I don't know how many you could think back and remember being really memorable games.
There's a lot of memorable games for Hearts, I'd say, because of the
wins. I mean, if you win the game,
we had 4-1s, 4-0s, a couple of 4-1s, 4-0s, 3-0s. But there was 3 2s, but there was, oh goodness me, I don't think I've got enough fingers and toes to go through the doer 0-0s or 1-0s.
Yeah.
There were some really horrible games.
Anyway, it's 43, the current day, one apiece, and it has been a very exciting game, and it's going to be a throw into Hearts, and I think I'm not sure, there's some activity down on the Hibs bench just now. O'Hara's going to be okay for now. Penrice gets the cross ball in, it's too high for Wilson, flicked away by Iredale. Grant picks it up, right hand side of the Hibs box, rolls it back to Taylor in the inside channel, back out to the touchline there for Grant, looking to work it back to Taylor. Campbell's there to knock it out for a Hearts throw-in. Is there going to be late drama in the first half here?
Well, this one will be launched right into the box because Taylor has got I don't know if you've seen a lot of games as well, John, recently. The amount of long throws that teams have. Kilmarnock yesterday were throwing it in long, and Ross County had Akil Wright throwing it in long, and Hearts have got Gerard Taylor can certainly lodge one in the box. But it seems to have been, I mean, I go back, showing my age here, to the sadly departed now Eric Shadler, who could launch it from the halfway line in like an absolute rocket, but it seems to be coming back these years.
Blow for Hibs here, John Collins.
Yeah, O'Hara's coming on. Is O'Hara?
Yep. So Lewis Miller's going to replace him.
He'll go in. I think be a straight swap, player for player.
That back three has been picking itself for Hibs recently, hasn't it? It's been the same back three constantly through this run.
That might help them though, John, because I mean, Miller is a kind of fullback, wing-back, so he might be better on the ball, maybe.
Here comes that long throw John was talking about. Final minute of the 45, it's pulled into the box, it bounces a couple of times, and eventually it's the man who's just on who clears it. Lewis Miller. Header from Penrice for Spittle. Little ball with the outside of the boot, finds Wilson back out to the left for Penrice, looking to get in behind Miller, which he has done. Shanklin across, and it's away by Bushiri. Difficult one to defend, that one, as Wilson puts it behind for the goal kick in the end. But when that ball came across from Shanklin and Rocky Bushiri went to attack it or defend it, in that case,
I mean, that's terrific.
So easily gone back towards his own goal.
I mean, terrific play from Penrice there.
Penrice played it round the corner. Spittle, Shanklin, great movement. They've worked it brilliantly, and I think the whole of the three sides of Easter Road in green and white held their breath as Big Rocky spread himself to try and clear it. They're thinking, which way is this going to go? To be fair to the big man, he done well there. He managed to get it out the danger area.
We're in the first of 3 minutes being added on at the end of the first half at Easter Road. 1-1. Both goals coming inside the opening 8 or 9 minutes. That goes out for a throw-in on this near side. It's one of those games you can't really take your eyes off it because anything could happen at any time, which is generally the case when it comes to derby matches. throwing down on the near side for Hearts, who are finishing the first half strongly here. They've been the side who've done most of the attacking in this first half, in truth. A good record here as Penrice sweeps it into the box. Away it goes by Iredale. It's an awkward bounce there though, misjudged by Steinwender. Bowies onto it, he couldn't quite get it into the path of Boyle, who has to roll it back to Nicky Cadden rather than run in on goal. It's back with Boyle on the far side. The Hibs goal scorer and captain back to Iredale. Low ball out to Nicky Cadden on the left, up against Taylor, who's under pressure from Shanklin, who wins it back, but that's been given as a free kick to Hibs. Not that Shanklin agrees with the decision. John Beaton's given Hibs the free kick on the touchline as Shanklin boots the ball up high into the Edinburgh sky in frustration at that decision. John Beaton had his back turned, so that might spare him, albeit he's being summoned now, and this should be an automatic booking, albeit, as I said, referee Beaton was looking over at where the throw-in was going to, or the free kick was going to be taken in the East Stand side, but he's yellow carded Shanklin, so even if he hasn't seen it, the sport official and his assistants will have. And Shanklin booked.
Captain, his lead by example, he shouldn't be doing that.
One it looked a soft foul, and if John Beaton's about his job and he's just done it, he's got to put it right on the touchline there. It's a silly one, it's a soft one to do. Yeah, he's frustrated, yeah, we're in injury time for the last act of first half, but you don't want to be picking up a booking for that.
Oh, he'd be even more frustrated if Hibs can score from this one. Of course, they scored their second against Celtic round about this time last Saturday. Nicky Cadden, he's played it square and short to Triantis, who shoots, blocked by the man who gave it away, Shanklin. Up into the air it goes, headed half away by Steinwender, not decisive. Nicky Cadden across, low ball. Gordon holds on his 6-yard line, and it will stay. Hibs 1, Hearts 1, and it's in the gloves of the veteran Scotland number 1, Craig Gordon. A bit blustery here all of a sudden at Easter Road. Some of the supporters heading to the kiosks for their half-time refreshments as the long ball from Gordon's headed back to his goalkeeper by Iredale. So we played it 3 minutes, went into a 4th minute of stoppages at the end of the first half here. John Beaton's had a little look at his watch. I would imagine Smith dispatches this. The half-time whistle will go. Indeed, there it is. And it's all square at the interval in the third Edinburgh derby of the season, which started in spectacular fashion. It's Martin Boyle latched onto a long ball, and he got in behind Gerald Taylor and fired home expertly as he waves up at the crowd down below us, the Hibs captain. But within a few minutes, Hearts were bang level again. It's another long ball. This time it was the Hibs defence's turn not to deal with it. And eventually it broke back to George Grant, who fired it high into the roof of the net to bring Hearts level. After just going behind, Lawrence Shanklin down there, he's just been booked. He's getting the boos from the Hibs supporters, and he's having to do an interview for telly as he makes his way off the pitch. Plenty action after that. Kabangu the ball in the net, he was offside. There were odd chances at both ends at that point. Nicky Cadden put a fabulous ball across the face of the Hearts goal, but nobody was there to tuck it home. It's been a really entertaining game here in the capital. At the halfway stage, it is Hibernian 1, Heart of Midlothian 1.
Hibernian versus Heart of Midlothian. Chance on its end, goal! The Edinburgh Derby. This is Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland, where Scottish football lives.
Join Michelle McManus for Afternoons.
I was admiring you lying horizontal back in that big chair.
I just had a producer say, can you sit up straight? It's like, radio's changed, isn't it?
The best entertainment.
Beyonce won Best Album Grammy Award for which album?
The country album, it was, something Carter, I don't know.
Great guests.
Does it make it easier when you come up the road?
There is a strategic dog and child drop-off process. Gran and Grandpa.
Everything that's going on.
She's going to be bringing out new music.
2025. It's going to be the year.
But I mean, you won't regret watching it.
Me, I was bawling. I was roaring and greeting.
And feel-good music.
Afternoons back tomorrow from 1:30 on BBC Radio Scotland and Sounds.
Half-time in the Premiership in the capital. The Edinburgh Derby is deadlocked at 1 apiece. At 3 o'clock we'll have live commentary from here at Pittodrie, where it is, of course, Aberdeen against Dundee United. All four sides in action this afternoon, eyeing up third place, European places, guaranteeing or getting close to guaranteeing top six. A real spectacle over the course of the 5 or 6 hours that we're on this afternoon. So lots to look forward to still, and we will reflect on the opening 45 minutes in the SWPL 1 this afternoon. An hour ago, and it's Queen's Park 0, Partick Thistle 0. 20 minutes in, Aberdeen 1, Spartans 0. Glasgow City 0, Motherwell 0. 2 o'clock, it's Dundee United against Montrose, Rangers against Hearts. Perhaps a last chance there for Hearts to force their way into what is a remarkable title race. And at 10 past 4 live in BBC Alpha, two of the sides who are currently deadlocked on 51 points, Hibernian and Celtic, go head to head. Remember, in the week to come, we have got plenty live action for you in terms of the radio. It'll be Thursday night, the Europa League Sports Sound on at 5 o'clock, Fenerbahce against Rangers, and then on Friday full live commentary as we kick off our coverage of the Scottish Cup quarter-finals with Heart of Midlothian against Dundee. Tuesday night on the telly, BBC Scotland Championship Live, Airdronians Falkirk, also on the telly on Monday night, and BBC Scotland 7:30 for the SWPL highlights. You'll get the SPFL lower league highlights, all the action from the Championship Leagues 1 and 2 online. It's a great offering that we have now at the BBC Sports Scotland website, to get all the goals, all the action from right across all the matches in those three divisions. And remember, Monday to Friday, the Scottish Football Daily podcast is published. You can pick that up whenever you get your podcasts. Willie Miller, Al Lamont and Tyrone Smith will be here from 3 o'clock with, well, they'll be here before then, but they'll be live from 3 o'clock with Aberdeen against Dundee United. And of course, we've got John Collins and John Robertson alongside Liam at Easter Road for the Derby. So let's look back in the opening 45 minutes, which you've got to say John Collins started in just the most remarkable fashion.
From Hibs' point of view, what a start. Boyle running in behind, a long ball played to the middle, poor defending from Hearts. Taylor should have done better. Boyle sharp, right on his back. Wonderful finish from a tight angle. Fairness to Hearts, go back in the game straight away. Good goal. I think Hearts maybe a little bit more in control of the ball and possession, but Hibs at the same time always looking for me at that threat on the counter-attack. I'd like to see Hibs have more possession, and there's a little bit, for me, edginess about the back three and the goalkeeper from Hibs' point of view. There's a little bit of panic when the Hearts striker makes the runs in behind. Shanklin for me and Birmingham, key players for Hearts. Hibs have got to make sure they don't get possession in the middle and get turned, because both of them can play killer passes. I'd like to see Hibs feed the wing backs more. Not enough balls fed out wide, and they should be the easy passes. You're not threading them through midfield players. One of the wide centre halves is getting the ball. It's straightforward. Open your body up and fire it out to the wing back. They're not doing it quick enough and often enough. And I wonder if that'll be a change of tactic at half time from the manager telling them start feeding Nicky Carden on the one side and his brother on the other. The Hearts, the away team going a goal down, I thought they stayed calm and gradually got back into the game and maybe controlled the possession. Calmness, I think they had more calmness than Hibs.
Yeah, just looking back, and there's just seeing replays here on the screen of that Boyle finish, which was excellent. I mean, it was a very simple goal, John Robertson, in the sense that I think it was Iredale who played the long ball down the wing, and it was all about Martin Boyle's pace, but also about his composure when he got in behind Taylor, because it was an excellent finish, wasn't it?
Absolutely, there's no doubt about that. It's too easy from a Hearts perspective. The straight ball over the top, for me, and he'll probably go under the radar with this, but Steinweiner doesn't match Martin Boyle's run, first and foremost, because he believes, and rightly so, that Gerard Taylor's going to deal with it. So he just lets Boyle run. Gerard Taylor gets there, and I think Taylor thinks, oh, I'm in control of the situation here, it's no problem at all. Has a wee look to see where Craig Gordon is, and that split second was all that Martin Boyle needed. He was in there like a rocket. His pace, he had the momentum going forward. He just nudged Taylor out the way. Still had a lot to do because the ball was bouncing, and he's managed to lift it beyond Craig Gordon and give Hibs absolutely the perfect start. However, fair play to Hearts, Neil Critchley. They went right down the park. This time they got Shanklin in the ball. He lobs it over. This time, Hibs were looking at Iredale and Bushiri. One of them's got to deal with it. Neither do. James also managed to make a nuisance of himself. They knocked the ball straight out, and there's George Grant rifling it in. Every bit as good a finish as Martin Boyle to make it 1-1. And then the game had chances after that. Shanklin again, they got in behind Hibs with poor defending, and Shanklin just couldn't direct his header. Cabangu goes through, just offside. I mean, it's one of those ones. Yes, he was off there, but he's just offside. If he holds his run, it's a brilliant finish. Cadden goes up the other end. The first time Hibs get him on the ball, smashes one across the face of the goal, and they're all sliding in there. And it's one of those ones you're thinking, you look at the goal that Hearts lost against Rangers, where Craig Gordon's managed to get a fingertip to it, but it came out and hit McCartan going in. Yeah. But you're thinking, if he parries it out this time, he might parry it into one of the Hibs players sliding in. So it's been a very, I've really enjoyed the game, Richard. I don't know how you guys in the studio are. It's been really entertaining. You can't take your eyes off it, because fair play to both teams. They're sticking to their principles, which got them success. Hibs are getting the ball in behind for Martin Boyle and Bowie's pace, and Campbell running in beyond them. Hearts have to play through the middle, and as John says, they're playing the more controlled football, the better possession. They're feeding it into Shanklin. Shanklin's feeding Cabangu and Wilson through. Young Wilson's playing really well. Latterly, Hearts have started to get Gerard Taylor and Penrice onto the ball. Penrice done really well down the left-hand side here. Taylor, if he just takes one half-decent touch, then there's a wonderful opportunity for him to roll it across the goal for Shanklin and Cabangu running in. But then we see the Hibs threat right away. They come up the park, another ball's put in. And John's right. Hearts have dealt with Hibs' biggest, or one of Hibs' biggest threats, well, by stopping the ball getting to the wing backs. What they're doing is they're enticing Rocky Bushiri to say, go on then. If you can hit a ball from the middle of the pitch, and as John says, it's a big pitch, a 35-yard ball to the left wing back, our full-back will get out there in time, or our left full-back will get out there in time. But they know Bushiri's not really capable of doing that, or he hasn't been capable of doing that so far, and Bushiri doesn't want to do it. Yep. And so they're making him make a decision of try and pass it in, and when they pass it to the other two centre-backs, Hearts are then releasing the trap. They're getting there, the centre-halves are popping it through the midfield. That's where Beningame is at his best. He's right up against the Hibs players. He's nicking it, getting it to Shanklin, and Hearts are on the counter. So both teams' strengths, Hearts having the extra man in the middle of the park with Shanklin just off the front, it's working for Hearts. Hibs' pace in behind, it's working for them at times. What the Hearts need to do, need to get Taylor and Penrice on the ball more often. A couple of times they've got there, they've created good chances. What Hibs need to do, get their wing backs involved. So right now, I mean, Hearts will probably be the slightly happier. They've had the better chances and played the more controlled football. But it's 1-1. Both teams are right in this game, and you just cannot call it right now, Richard.
So would you feel, John Collins, that there's no need for either to make huge tactical changes? It is just perhaps a case of tweaking a little and trying to get a bit more out of what they're trying to do?
Without a doubt. If I'm David Gray, I'm in the dressing room, I'm saying to my two left-sided centre-half and the right-side half, the ones on the outside, as soon as it gets the goalkeeper, I want you breaking wide and demanding the ball quick, and I want them to be in possession. Move the ball as quick as possible to the wing back. The longer they dilly and dally, the harder it is to get those passes. They've got to move the ball quicker. First they've got to want the ball off the goalkeeper, and a couple of times there it's going back to the goalkeeper, and I'm seeing players that their body language, they're not sure if they're wanting the ball. There's three Hearts strikers up round about them, they're thinking I'm not sure, so they end up turning their back and the keeper launches it, which is fine now and again when you've got Bowie up there. But as the game's wore on, the Hearts defenders have taken care of the long balls through to Bowie. So for me, if Hibs want to win the game, it'll be one in the wide areas. Feed their wide players and get balls in the box, and they'll create chances and score goals. And from a defensive point of view, I'm a little bit worried about them pushing up too high. When you're playing against a quick striker and a number 10 like Shanklin, who can't play killer passes, who does pick it up in little pockets, you've got to make sure they don't have that space in behind you. So that's two things. When the back three drop and your goalkeeper playing at the edge of his box, if there is anything played through, your goalkeeper's acting like a sweeper. So that's from my point of view. David Gray, can he get those messages across to his players? That's what certainly I would be doing. But it's not easy. Hearts are a good team, and they're playing with patience. Hearts aren't banging it forward. The centre halves, they're playing the ball to full-backs. Beningame, they're playing nice patient football when it's on, and that's what I've seen since the manager's come in. He wants them to be calm in possession of the ball. Don't always force it forward. Sometimes in Scottish football with intensity, they're passing it, and they hear the next line is, but they're not causing any problems, they're not doing anything. Trust me, if you're a forward, two forwards playing against in the width of the park and they're moving it quick, you're having to run from side to side, and you end up taking the juice out their legs. Bowie won't last another 15-20 minutes. He's not played a lot of football this season, so he'll be coming off after 15 minutes. But good game, all to play for.
Look, clearly both sides, Robbo, will want to win it, but there's almost a case of saying, look, we'd settle for a draw, because it gets Hearts back up into the top 6. It gets Hibernian ahead of Aberdeen in goal difference. It extends the good runs for both teams, and there's no real damage done.
Yes and no. I can see both points of view there, Richard, but I think both camps will tell you without fear of contradiction that they want to win the game. For Hibs to move not just above Aberdeen on goal difference, but to go a couple of points ahead would be massive for them and put pressure on Aberdeen and United for this afternoon's game. As you said, we said before the game started, both sets of players would look at the opposition, the other game of the day, and hopes a draw. Aberdeen Dundee United, we're thinking Hearts Hibs draw, it's a good result for us, and if Dundee United win at Pittodrie or Aberdeen win at Pittodrie, they move further away from the teams below them. But I don't see any team at this moment, if maybe with 10 minutes to go, you might think, well, a bit like the Dundee St Johnstone game yesterday, well, maybe a draw is not a disaster. Yes, Hearts move back in, Hibs move to third. Yeah, it's not a disaster, this result, but I don't think you'll see that. I think both teams know the implications or the consequences of a big 3 points here. Both teams will want to go for it, and by the way, both sets of forwards will still fancy their chances. The Hibs, Boyle and Bowie, and whether it's Kurakevich or Gale or Yuan that come on, they'll fancy their chances of getting something against the opposition four. And the Hearts players will be the same. They'll be looking at Musa and Vargas and players like that, thinking, you know what, if I get on here, I've got an opportunity. So the game's wide open, and it's been wide open in an entertaining way, Richard. It's been a very entertaining football match.
Richard, the last 15 minutes will be very interesting, because I always look at benches, I look at substitutions, and that's often the time when it tells you the mindset of the manager and the coach. What's his substitutes? Is he bringing on defensive midfielders? Is he bringing in more forwards? Is he roaring his full-backs to fly forward? Is he saying, is a message stay? So that last 15 minutes, that's when you'll usually see.
The last few games, Richard, Hearts have been fairly predictable with their substitutions. You'll find probably Forrester may come on for Gerard Taylor. That's been something that they've been doing, has been bringing Taylor on for Forrester for a few games, and vice versa. They'll then look at the guys in the front areas. You've got likes of Vargas and it wouldn't surprise me if Vargas and Musa replace Wilson and Kabangu at some stage. Occasionally they bring on Forrester or Khartoum for a midfield, so Spittle more likely comes off, and Khartoum or Nienhoff will come on. So they've been very, very predictable it's just been like for like in the same positions and the same personnel. Hibs have had in fourth change Miller in there. He got caught out right away. Shanklin got in behind him and helped the ball across the goal, which Bushiri done well to clear. So Miller will have to settle in very, very quickly. But you look at Hibs bench, Yuan, you'd think with his pace at some stage will come on.
Like Gale,
you've got Kurakevich, and Gale, you'd think at some stage they may well be looked at as well. Maybe Jordan will be in the wing back areas if it's not working for Hibs. So both
so
benches,
many options.
Both benches,
so many options for both sides. And they are back out. Dundee United are here at Pittodrie. Their players out just taking a look at the pitch. The Aberdeen players will be down in the dressing room, I'm sure. Live commentary from 3. Aberdeen against Dundee United. First, second half live from Easter Road, Hibernian against Heart and Midlothian with the two Johns and Liam McLeod.
Hearts kicking off the second half, shooting left to right towards the south stand where their fans are. Hibs towards the famous 5 in their green and white. Hearts in the maroon and white. 1-1, all square. Hearts hunting down their 150th competitive victory over Hibernian. They've been hoping to do that for a little while. They've not managed to win over them yet this season, but it's Hearts starting on the front foot here. No changes for either team at the half-time interval. Just Lewis Miller on for O'Hara in the first half. As that goes out of play for the Hearts, throw in on this near side, level with the Hibs 18-yard line. They look to maintain their excellent form as well. And they're unbeaten in their last 7 away games in all competition, which is pretty good going. They were excellent away from home last term as well. And it's bowled in by Taylor, nodded towards goal by McCart. Not that he knew much about it, and it's a comfortable take for Jordan Smith as Hibs eye up 3rd spot in the as it stands table. That's where they currently are. Into that 3 o'clock kickoff. Pittodrie, Nicky Cadden driving across the halfway line, plays it off Grant and out for a throw-in on this near side. The ball in the left hand of David Gray, the Hibs manager right now. And Iredale is over the throw. Nobody's happier than the Hibs fans that David Gray has been able to turn this around, given the hero worshipping they do of that man down there. Into their 114-year wait for the Scottish Cup. Gerald Taylor knocks it clear to Beningame, and then the long ball there from Steinvender breaks Grant's way in the midfield, to the right of the centre circle. He's had it nicked off by Triantis though. Triantis out wide left, it's Nicky Cadden. It's a brilliant ball, but it's just behind Campbell, and it comes off the back of his head and goes out for a goal kick on the reverse side for Hearts. It stays 1-1, but that was a magnificent cross.
I'm telling you right now, that is a world-class delivery. See, if that was David Beckham in the wide era, you'd be saying, what inch perfect. Not a lot of backlift, not a big area to hit it in, and he's whipped it in early. Should have been a goal, it should have hit the target. It's poor from Josh Campbell.
I think how good his header was against Celtic here last week.
That's a chance.
Yeah, and Hibs done what Hearts have done to Hibs there. Triantis nicks the ball of George Grant, immediately feeds Cadden. Cadden, no thoughts, out of my feet, get in there, get on the end of that. What a ball that is. And by the way, virtually impossible to defend.
The lineups at the start of the second half: Smith in goal for Hibs, Miller, who came on for O'Hara, Bushiri and Iredale, Chris Cadden, Mariah Welsh, Triantis, Nicky Cadden, Campbell, Boyle, Bowie. Hearts with Gordon in goal, Taylor, Steinvender, McCart and Penrice, Grant, Beningame, Spittle, Wilson, Shankland, Kabangu. It's out of play for a Hibs throw-in, midway inside their own half on this main stand side. So they go right to left towards the famous 5 end in the second half. Bowled forward, Grant gets a couple of headers onto it. It was onto the chest of Triantis, but it's a woeful pass from Triantis. He's given it straight to Kabangu, and now it's with Spittle. Rolls it out wide left for Penrice. Little ball back to Spittle, fires it forward. Kabangu gets there ahead of Miller. Left hand side of the Hibs box, looks to win at least the corner, which he has done. Off Miller. I mean, that's dreadful from Triantis.
Well, we talked about calmness and slackness, and that's the fine line you get with Triantis sometimes. I like his calmness, but he's sometimes being sloppy.
Yeah, that, and then you just add it forward 5 yards there. That's the second time Miller's been caught with that ball in behind from Kabunga. Yeah, really, Kabangu, sorry, I keep getting that. I apologise to the young man. Kabangu there, twice he's got in ahead of him.
In comes the corner from Spittle, and it's tipped over the bar by Smith, taking absolutely no chances there. Spittle's delivery, just like Nicky Cadden, he's on point more often than not. Incidentally, while this game has been going on, David Gray has perhaps unsurprisingly been named as manager of the month for February.
Deservedly so.
That's good news.
Kiss he did.
Get a jambo, yeah, maybe. In comes the corner again from Spittle, headed half away, breaks to Penrice at the edge of the box. He's kind of leaning back and he slices it wide on the outside of the left foot.
With his left foot, I would expect him to do better there.
That's a chance.
It's bounced up nicely for him.
It's no real pressure. You know, players are coming out, but with his left foot, you're right. Get that left knee over the ball and you rattle it through. It could take a deflection. He's just come off at a fraction and it's kind of wafted it over the bar.
It is with Lewis Miller wide in the right, and the Hibs sub. Low ball, side foot forward to Mariah Welsh on the halfway line. Under pressure from Beningame, finds Triantis. Out to Nicky Cadden. Not too much on it. Nicky Cadden couldn't keep it in play. It'll be a Hearts throw-in right down below us on the halfway line.
Again, it's sloppiness from Triantis. A poor ball.
I think Hearts have identified that Bushiri and Triantis in particular, when they're under pressure, they can't handle it. They've not got the technical ability to play the pass that's on. The pass was on and he's tried to execute it, he just wasn't capable of it, as was Bashiri earlier on in the game. So you can see where the Hearts' tactics are, and it's whether they can take advantage of it going the other way.
Hibs ended a 5-year wait for a win at Tynecastle last time out against Hearts. Rolls and Bashiri traded own goals before that Gale winner with 12 to play. However, Hearts have only lost once in the last 9 visits here, so that is a good record.
2 great runs from Spittle. He's run in behind Mariah Welsh here, and twice McCart has failed to see him, and he's absolutely raged.
Brilliant from Beningame there as he turns away from Campbell up towards the halfway line. Out to Spittle on the left, now inside the Hibs half, forward towards Kabangu. Miller gets there first anyway. John Collins reckoned it was offside, and he's spot on. Flag's gone up, but Hibs are in possession, so they have an advantage as Bowie is brought crashing to the ground by McCart on the halfway line. Hibs take the free kick quickly. It's Mariah Welch drifting it out from right to left, out to Nicky Cadden, up against Taylor. Now he's taking him on, he's in behind him, he's in the box, goes down. John Bean's having a think and then wags his finger and says no penalty. But clearly Nick Walsh in the VAR room is going to be checking it. Here come Hearts up the other end with Wilson driving forward. Hibs players trying to get back. Good sliding block by Mariah Welsh. Wilson still has it. Crosses in. Kabangu meets it and puts it wide. Goal kick. Hibs think they should have had a penalty up the other end.
Well, they'll check it.
It's been cleared though. No penalty.
Well, there you go, because it did look like he was looking for it. He got himself ahead of Taylor and then collapsed a bit there, but that's the first time today. Mariah Welsh, brilliant, quick thinking, executes the switch that John's been calling out for the whole game, and it's left Cadden 1-on-1 v Taylor, and this time Cadden's like, okay, I'm not going to go down the line, I'm going to cut inside and cause you problems.
That's been clear. They're just having a look at a handball as well, but by all accounts the Nicky Cadden incident, Cadden was doing the pulling first, which is why it's not a penalty. But the handball they're looking at was in the same incident, or the same phase of play. So just waiting to see what happens. Easter Road holding its breath. 52, almost 53 on the clock. No penalty. The checks are all complete, and it's game on, and it remains one apiece.
We don't want any soft penalties, do we?
I mean, to be fair to Cadden, he's asked the question because he's taken Taylor on the inside, he's cut back across Taylor and got in front of him. But you're thinking there, stay on your feet, put a ball in, possibly.
Well, the handball they were checking was in the Hibs box.
Yeah, with the cross from Wilson. But again, it was just good defending. Natural position.
You can imagine the Hibs fans if they'd been denied that penalty and their VAR check had provided Hearts with one. Anyway, it's Hibs coming down the left here with Nicky Cadden. It's another brilliant ball in, and so close for Bowie at the back post.
He is a striker's dream. Somebody firing and crosses like that.
The thing is as well, you don't even have to be a big striker, because he's putting the ball in there at a wonderful height. Just go and get on the end of it, and that's what Hibs failed to do in the first half. Hibs got nothing out to Nicky Cadden. We talked about him pre-match, about the threat he is, and he's now showing that threat. Hearts have to show that. It wouldn't surprise me if Forrester comes on at some stage, because Taylor seems to have he's holding his leg with he's injured, and he knows he's up against it now. He's up against the Hibs form man.
Here come Hearts. Wilson's little header infield. He can't quite find Kabangu. It's away by Bushiri. Bowie's chasing it. McCart just deals with it. Just nods the header out to the left. Penrice, little ball forward for Spittle. Left-footed ball from him. Long one forward towards Shanklin's cut out. Hibs have it back. Mariah Welsh. Triantis in the centre circle. Fires it into the feet to Nicky Cadden. Wind the left. Down the line for Campbell. Sliding in Steinbender to put it out for a throw-in. Good spell for Hibs this now. All of a sudden, one apiece in the 55th minute. Nicky Cadden looks like he's going to leave the throw for Iredale here.
Nicky Cadden's got the ball. He's saying to the centre, just stay there. I'll throw it to you and you give it back to my feet. But he's so interesting. Prefers a long throw rather than playing it to footballers' feet.
Well, you think
I'd rather have Cadden's left foot.
I was going to say, the last two crosses, give him it back, let him put in.
In fairness to Cadden, he had a go at him. So he did say, they're not wanting it.
Long throw then, which will be taken by Iredale. He's going to dump this into the Hearts box, into the 6-yard area. It comes off a Hearts head, up towards the penalty spot. It's only half clear, but then rifled away by Kabangu. And then Miller, facing his own goal, heads it back to Jordan Smith. There's more goals in this game, you feel. And it's surprising if it finished one apiece at this point. We shall see. Smith clips it out to Nicky Cadden on this near side. Header forward first time there, and that will be a free kick for a foul by Steinwender on Campbell. It'll be a Hibs free kick. It's a few yards from David Gray's technical area down below us.
Nicky Cadden, he's got terrific awareness there. The ball's clipped out of him from the goalkeeper. He's had a look round the corner. He knows he can't take it down. He's got to play it first time. He's just headed it round the corner.
But that's what I said again. The tactical aspect of it is Hibs are now, as you pointed out, half-time zone. Get the ball to the wing backs earlier, and even there, it's an early kick from Smith. Just turn it round the corner because Taylor's something to sprint 25 yards to get there.
Mariah Welsh looking for Chris Cadden. It's headed away by Penrice. Spittle trying to help it on its way. On the far side, and Beningame has kept it in play. Long ball forward into the Hibs half, bouncing, awkward for Miller, but Triantis is there to help and clears into the Hearts half. McCart knocks it forward first time, and Shanklin comes off his heel, bounces past him and all the way through to Jordan Smith. It's 1-1 at Easter Road. It's Hibs in the ball with Nicky Cadden. It's a quick ball. It's another brilliant ball. Boyle's in behind left-hand side of the box. Taylor is stronger this time, but he wasn't when Boyle scored early on. But he has conceded the corner for Hibernian down in this near side. One apiece.
Credit where it's due. Terrific defending from Taylor. His pace got him back there. Thought Boyle had him beat. There's again a terrific little pass down the line for Cadden.
Well, that's the threat for both teams as they're running in behind. But brilliant from Taylor, the recovery run from Taylor there. And you see, because he fancied, if Martin Boyle had been on the other side of the pitch on his right foot, he's no doubt he's shooting there, but Taylor managed to get back. This could be a threat for Hibs. They've got some big lads there.
Out swinging corner coming up from Nicky Cadden. Left footed, drives it towards the penalty spot. Campbell tries to head for goal. It's blocked and Spittle clears. And now Wilson's away. Boyle's brought him down. That'll be an instant yellow for the Hibs skipper. Free kick Hearts on the halfway line. And James Wilson's obviously got plenty of pace about him because he was doing well to stay clear of Boyle there, and he's won the free kick and Boyle booked.
Yeah, it was a pretty straightforward booking there. Wilson's done well. He's got away. He's got a bit of pace as well because it's Martin Boyle who's running against, and he's again maturity. He's knocked it past Boyle and thought, you know what, I'll run across you. If you want to clip me, fine. If you don't, I've got another couple of yards to get going again. So
he's got a good temperament, the young boy.
Lovely.
He's not arguing with referees or centre halves. He just gets on with his job, focused the whole game.
Lewis Miller facing his own corner flag there, gets it half away, but it's gone straight to Spittle. Over on the Hearts left, Neil Critchley down there with his hands in the air. He comes back to inside his own half. Jamie McCart, he finds his centre defensive partner Steinwender. This was pointed out beforehand, 3 of the back 4 for Hearts, tasting the Edinburgh Derby for the first time. Steinwender rolls it out to this right hand side for the Hearts goal scorer Grant. Cancelled out Martin Boyle's opening salvo within a couple of minutes in the early stages of the game. The scoreboard hasn't changed since then. Here's Grant on the halfway line, lofts the ball forward. Miller lets it drift across his body, right hand side of the box, then turns it to Chris Cadden on the far side, and he's gone long looking for Bowie, and then McCart's header back to Steinwender. Bowie's in between the 2 centre backs, but McCart reacts well on the far side of the box and clears his lines with the left foot. Picked up by Mariah Welsh, plays it off Penrice, gets it back. There's Mariah Welsh, and he switches it out to the left for Nicky Cadden. It's another cross ball in from the left, can't find Boyle this time. Steinwender was in the way, and then Wilson goes back to Grant, and then he puts it straight into touch for a Hibs throw-in on the near side. You wouldn't want to put any money on either of these teams when it comes to winning this game of football.
I think Hibs are on top since the second half started, but they're not taking their chances. I mean, how often have Hearts done it through the years?
There's no doubt Hibs have started on the front foot, mainly because they've done what you said at half-time, John. They've got the ball to Nicky Cadden quickly, and that's the key. Taylor's got to get out here sharp because it's going to go. That's exactly where it's going to go, but Cadden is outlet at the moment, and he's a real he's a real threat.
We are bang on the hour mark now. Here comes Boyle out to the right hand side of the Hearts box for Chris Cadden, pulls it back towards the penalty spot, and Grant clears only as far as Mariah Wells takes a touch and shoots, and he's not far away. So he rifles it low towards goal. It just flashes by the left hand post, and it stays Hibs 1, Hearts 1.
Good phase of play from Hibs, maybe 5, 6, 7 good passes, 1 and 2 touch, good delivery in the box, good strike from Mariah Wells just past the post.
You said earlier on, John, about Hibs taking, Hearts taking the energy out of the Hibs strikers. This is the worry I had at the start of the game as well, is that Grant and Spittle, it's hard for them to get out to, and what's happening at the moment is Taylor and Penrice are sitting back, and these midfielders are having to run that 30 yards out to get to them. So Hibs' energy is taking it out of the Hearts player, so I wouldn't be surprised if Neuenhoff is someone got for the midfield area. Normally it's Neuenhoff for...
The manager's got to be seen Hibs are getting joy in the wider areas. He's going to think, how do I stop that, change his system?
I don't think he'll change the system per se. If it stays 1-1, he'll probably keep the system in, but he'll swap like for like. It'll be energy for players coming in and saying he's got Neuenhoff, he's got Cartoon, who's more of a player like yourself, John, very technically good.
Good play by Hartston, left Penrice across, almost found Wilson, and it's a brilliant challenge by Nicky Cadden. Just to the far side of the 6-yard box, gets it clear out for a Hearts throw in on the far side.
Excellent play from Penrice. He's beat his man very easily. I don't know if he nutmegged him, and a good ball into the 6-yard, but good defending from Hibs.
Hearts have it. Spittle with the ball in, which come all the way through to Smith. Didn't expect that. Went through the legs of both Wilson and Bushiri.
Well, it was Miller first. I think Miller's had a fresh year at it. He's not started the game great, but it's not caused Hibs any damage.
Down the left-hand side comes Bowie for Hibs. Up the other end, gets the cross into the Hearts box. Headed away by Steinbender. Out for a throw-in. 62 on the clock at 1-1. Nicky Cadden with the throw. Bowls it short, down at the byline for Campbell. Back to Nicky Cadden, gets the ball in. It's bouncing around, and eventually Hearts get it clear. But Hibs come again. Chris Cadden catches it in the volley, but his shot is comfortably saved, really, or at least he made it look comfortable by Craig Gordon at his near post. Stays 1 apiece.
Yeah, it's a good spell for Hibs. Hearts, briefly got their Penrice. The first time we've really seen them in the attacking phase in the match, done really well. Hibs straight back down into that channel again. Bowie, he's giving it his all. We wonder how long it'll last, maybe another 5-10 minutes. Gets the ball again. Cadden's ball coming, not his best ball of the game, because chaos in there. It wasn't quite cleared. Good strike, comfortable save, but Hibs are definitely, as Hearts had slightly the better the first half, there's no doubt Hibs are on top at the moment.
Offside.
Well, play on as Shangler goes back towards Kabangu, but Miller's there at the right angle of his box, and up indeed does go the flag. Spotting these, no bother. Nothing wrong with your eyesight, John Collins.
Hawkeye.
It's Bushiri who picks up centre point of the defence and rolls it to his left for Iredale. Iredale's ball comes straight off Wilson and out for a Hibs throw-in on this near side. It will be Iredale over it. By the time he releases it, he's about at the halfway line. Forward down the line it goes. Taylor gets the head onto it, but it breaks to Campbell. Knocks it towards the box. It's headed clear by Taylor. Triantis picking up the scraps in midfield. The Aussie stabs it through for Boyle, and then out wide right for Chris Cadden. Nicky Cadden's ghosted into the box. He's looking for Bowie at the back post. Too high for him though. Will pop out to Josh Campbell on the near side. Low ball there for Triantis to the left of the penalty spot. Bowie is a swipe at it. It is blocked and away. Hibs continuing to press. In comes Nicky Cadden's latest cross, which is headed away by Steinbender and out for a Hibs throw-in. Level with the Hearts 6-yard line.
Good phase for Hibs. Pinning them in. Hearts not going out ball every time they win it. They're giving it away. This is when you need to take advantage. You need to get a goal.
Yeah, the Hearts have lost that control. Yep. John, we spoke about the first half. They're just not quite stringing the passes, the composure to string the passes together.
Long throw-in coming up again for Hibs here. Iredale over it. Into the Hearts mixer it comes. Hibs win the header. It's back there just towards Triantis. He couldn't control or get a shot away, in Hearts clear. Dumped up towards the halfway line. Miller with a header to Iredale. Flicks it with the outside of the left. High into the air. Down the left-hand touchline. But it was out of play for a throw-in to Hearts. Just want to settle a little bit here. Neil Critch will be a little bit concerned with what's been going on since the break. We are 20 into the second half, just about at 1-1.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's spot on. I think the measure of control and composure that Hearts showed for vast swathes of the first half, they've not really had that second half at all. Just a couple of forays in there, nice bit of composure from Penrice wide left, but certainly Hibs are exerting their influence because they're getting the ball out quickly to their wing backs, and Hearts midfield men and full backs aren't getting out quick enough. And it's noticeable, we never mentioned Nicky Carden in the first half till right on half time with the ball across the goals, but now he's been the main focus of the second half.
A couple of changes coming for Hearts, and it's the two dropped out of the starting 11 who are going to come on, Nieuwenhof and Khartoum. Hibs looking to pick it up here, just on the brink of the attacking third, and it's Triantis. Flashes it out to Chris Cadden, takes a touch, looks the cross, comes off Penrice. That's going for a corner unless McCart can prevent it. No, he can't. Hibs corner. And continuing to try and find their lead again, something they only enjoyed for a couple of minutes early in the match. And out on the far side, Nicky Cadden goes to take it.
This will be right on top of Craig Gordon, maybe 5 yards in front of him. Whipped in. One thing for sure, it won't be floated in. This kid doesn't do floats, no. He whips with pace.
In swinger from the left boot of Nicky Cadden, over in that far northeast corner of the stadium, and it comes Craig Gordon's, and amongst all kinds of players there, he's managed to get a fist onto it. Mariah Wells strips it back in, Boyle in the volley, puts it well wide in the end. What a chance it was.
Massive chance. By the way, what a great run it is from Martin Boyle, because he holds his run. It's a brilliant pick out from Mariah Walsh. You see him there, and he's coming late, and it
was a good connection. It was a tight angle, he caught it well, but just outside the far post. Hibs dominating, complete domination. Last 15 minutes, most of the game played in the Hearts half.
Yeah, the change is being made just now, and there's going to have to be attention given to Craig Gordon just in the wake of all that. So changes, I think, for both. I think Dwight Gale, who was the match winner at Tynecastle when these two last met, is going to come on. If you're on your way to Pittodrie, kick-off of Aberdeen against Dundee United is just over an hour away. The Dons team, Mitov, Jensen, Tobers, Canuster, McKenzie, Nielsen, Palaversa, Ockles, Keskinen, Gay and Nisbet. Dundee United, it is Walton, Gallagher, Graham, Strain, Chevy, Sibbald, Stevenson, Campbell, Middleton, Trapanovsky, Dalby. Those are the teams that will contest the game at Pittodrie, which kicks off, as I say, in almost bang on an hour's time. And that's to come live here on Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland, where you are listening to the third Edinburgh derby of the season. It will be, I believe, Mariah Welsh coming off for Hibs to be replaced by Gale, so they fancy it. George Grant coming off, replaced by Nieuwenhof, and James Wilson will not be repeating his heroics last time he was here. Khartoum replaces him. John Collins.
I think that's a smart move. Now what you've got, when Nicky Carden gets the ball, you've got two strikers in the box rather than just on. And one thing Gale does, he finds space in the box and he attacks the ball.
Well, you saw the goal at Tynecastle.
Brilliant
classic forward movement. But Hearts have seen it's predictable, but they've changed it slightly here. They've taken young Wilson off, which is
they're taking
unusual.
More. Sorry, John, I'll clear this up. So Gale is coming on, Levitt is coming on, Mariah Welsh is coming off, Bowie is coming off. So that's the Hibs changes.
So Hearts they'll push Shankland up top now with Kabangu. I'd imagine Shankland will go and play there, and Khartoum might play in it, or it may actually. Looks like they've changed formation. They've gone 4-4-1-1. So it looks like Khartoum's playing slightly to the left here at the moment. Penrice slightly to the left, Khartoum slightly to the right, with Shankland up and down to support. It's definitely 4-4. They've realised they need somebody out here to stop Carden getting on the ball and give Gerald Taylor a bit more help.
Good move from him, coach.
Sander Khartoum coming on, Norwegian, signed from Brann in the winter window. He played with Aberdeen's Sivert Nielsen at his former club, and actually he came up against St Mirren in the Conference League qualifiers back in July, and he's on for Hearts amongst a host of changes for both teams there. Long ball for Hearts. Kabangu almost got onto Bushiri, flapped at it, but he's happy that Lewis Miller was there to clear. Hearts look to try and get a foothold in the second half. Just over 20 of the 90 to play. It's 1-1. They've soaked up what Hibs have thrown at them so far since the break without conceding. So now perhaps they'll release some of the shackles themselves.
I would think that's Neil Critchley's plan, because there's no doubt, you know, and John's called it there. It's good. A good spot from the coach. He realises now that Gerard Taylor needs a hand out there because Cadden's causing problems. So he's gone 4-4-1-1 or 4-4-2 to a certain degree. Yes, they have soaked it up. They've created one half chance themselves, but Hibs should, you know, they've dominated the second half in terms of attacking play. Hearts have lost that composure. They'll need to try and get it back if they're going to go on and win the game. And it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. You've still got the likes of Vargas and Drama that can come on up top for Hearts to provide pace. Hibs have gone for the wily old fox for their movement up front with Boyle now, so it's still tough to call.
Hearts have it with McCart.
This is the first real passing movement we've seen from Hearts.
Yeah, and Spittle looking to get it in behind Kabangu. He's a little look at the linesman on the other side. Lewis Miller's doing well to stick with him, but he's managed to get to it. It's Kabangu, but his touch takes it behind for the goal kick. He lacked the quality. On the occasion, the man on loan from Union Saint-Gilloise, and that will be a Hibs goal kick.
Kabangu's got pace and he's also got fitness. He's looking as fresh now as he was the first minute, which is good for the Hearts' point of view.
Here come Hibs. Nicky Cadden on this near side.
It was a good foot race,
cut out.
Yeah.
And it's now with Triantis down on this near side. And Hearts have a free kick for the challenge on Khartoum, and that will be a free kick to be taken by Taylor right in front of the Hibs manager. And his hands in his pockets down there. Neil Critchley to his right. He's very animated, the Hearts manager right now. It's Taylor, clips the high free kick towards the edge of the Hibs box, away by Bushiri, chased down by Khartoum. Bushiri gets it away at the second time of asking. Shanklin goes down, no free kick. Nieuwenhof battling to win it back for Hearts, and he's done well. He's come up with some big goals recently, Nieuwenhof. And it's worked out to Penrice on the left, down the left hand side for Spittle. It's a poor ball though, too much on it, and Levitt will see it behind for the goal kick. Hibs 1, Hearts 1, 72 on the clock.
I thought there might have been a wee foul on Shanklin there, but he's not. I think he's upset Mr. Beaton with his theatrics just before half time. He's not getting much from the referee, but they say it's Hearts. You know, they actually got Spittle into a good position there, but as I say, it's still anybody's call as we go into the last 18 minutes plus stoppages.
Nicky Cadden picking up on this near side, level with the edge of the centre circle in the Hearts half, finds Triantis, it comes back to Nicky Cadden now with Levitt. The Welshman spreading the play out to the right hand side for Chris Cadden, faced by Spittle, squares it infield to Levitt, and then finds Triantis to his left, clipped with the right, high ball for Nicky Cadden. He controls it as a look up at the box. He's got it here, Nicky Cadden, and it comes, and it's just missed by Gale, and Hearts get it half away, but there's a brilliant goal. My goodness me, what a goal by Jack Iredale. That's fit for any game, let alone an Edinburgh derby. On the volley, left-footed, swept away from one of the finest goalkeepers that Scottish football has produced, and Jack Iredale's first Hibs goal comes in the derby at the famous Five End. It's Hibernian 2, Heart of Midlothian 1.
Unstoppable, Liam. Sweet strike, can't beat a left foot volley in the bottom corner. All started with Cadden again, out here wide, whips a great ball in again, gets cleared, bounces nicely for Iredale, and he's caught it sweet.
Yeah, I mean, they've got it there. Cartoon doesn't get out to stop Cadden's cross. It's a decent clearance from McCart, but not high enough. But to be fair to Iredale, he's took his first touch, it's just popped up lovely for him. No keeper is saving that. He's hit it with the outside his left foot, got a slight little bend on it to come in the back post. It's a magnificent strike.
Only what Hibs deserve with the second half performance. They've deserved a goal for their general all-round play.
Well, as I look around Easter Road and I think back to the days here in the autumn, even into the late autumn, it is absolutely incredible that these Hibs supporters now, who are more used to booing and jeering, are cheering in pure ecstasy. And is that the goal that retains the bragging rights and sees Hibs win back-to-back league derbies for the first time since 2009 in the same season. Beningame for Hearts. There will be more to come. There's still 15 minutes of the 90 left here. Hibs haven't looked particularly strong defensively today. It's a bit shaky actually at times as Penrice accepts the corner, as Hearts look to equalise quickly as they did in the first half. But it is Hibernian who have the 2-1 lead here in Leith. And the corner will be taken by the man who won it, James Penrice. Huge result this if Hibs can see this out. Hearts will have a say. I think in the end it's going to be Spittle who's going to take the corner. Penrice has made his move into the box. Whole host of other maroon shirts. In-swinging delivery with the right foot from Blair Spittle over on the far side. It's hard to attack the goal to the right, and it comes. It was off maybe Kabangu's head, back out of goal, headed back towards the 6-yard box. Hibs clear. And then the referee blows his whistle with a green and white shirt down inside his own box. I think it's Josh Campbell who's down inside the 6-yard area. And that will be the thing for the Hibs players, John Collins. They will be very keen that they don't let Hearts back in quickly as they did in the first half when they led 1-0.
Well, this is vitally important now. Often when you get that goal at this stage of the game, the question is, do you sit on it? Do you go for a killer third? The danger, you've got to do both. You've got to concentration in defence and keep the balance right. The danger is they switch off. But they want to get a hold of the ball. Control the game. 2-1 up. Control the game, get a hold of the ball, don't give it away, make Hearts chase it to get it back, don't just hand it to them on a plate and booting up the pitch.
Well, if Hibs can win this, they'll put a 7-point gap between the two. Hearts were 22 clear of Hibs last season, the season's end. Boyle goes down and wins the free kick. It's beyond the midway point of his own half.
Again, from a manager's point of view, what are you seeing? Your centre forward running back in the middle of his own half, helping out his midfield, everything you want to see. You see Martin Boyle normally going that way, but he does a shift coming back as well.
A crowd of 19,873 inside Easter Road this afternoon. Hibs leading. We've got a man down here. I think Drama and Vargas, John Robertson are going to be on for Hearts momentarily.
Yeah, they've got to change something. Kabangu will definitely win. Will he take off Lawrence Shankland? Possibly. He may take off Spittle, go 4-3-3 potentially as well here. So Vargas and Musa can play in the wider areas with Shankland through middle, or he could take Shankland off and leave Kamunga there, but he's thrown on forwards. Hearts have to go for it, there's no doubt about it.
I wouldn't be surprised if he takes Shankland off and put him up the top of the pitch.
Here come Hibs though. Gale with a little ball out to the far side, well read by Nieuwenhof, who keeps it in play midway inside his own half on the east stand side as that's rolled back to McCart. And it will be Spittle and Beningame, the players who are coming off, incidentally. So we hear long ball for Hearts, headed away by Iredale. An unlikely Edinburgh Derby hero potentially. The man who's put Hibs back in front, Lewis Miller. Low ball out to Chris Cadden on the far side, now with Levitt. This ball in field's cut out though, and it's Blair Spittle forward, but he can't find Shankland. It's with Triantis. And this ball forward goes straight back to Hearts with Penrice. Hibs right now, as it stands, it's going to take 2 Hearts goals unanswered to prevent it from moving on to 15 matches unbeaten. And as I said earlier, back to 1978 for the last time they did that as a top-flight club across all competition. Eventually, after 15, lost to Partick Thistle in Glasgow. They don't lose this one, and the next one will be their longest unbeaten run as a top-flight club since 1947. About that from David Gray. That does come with the caveat that their next game is the Scottish Cup at Celtic Park. Is that long ball forward for Kabangu? But Smith Reddick comes to the edge of his box. John Collins, as we head towards the final 10 of the 90 here, Hibs leading the Derby 2-1, 15 unbeaten. And for such a long time, the Hibs supporters have been in the doldrums. They've been depressed over the course of the last 11 years. There was a relegation, took them a while to get back up. There's been highs, there's been lows, winning the cup.
I mean, it's a remarkable turnaround from such a poor disappointing, depressing start to exciting football now, creating chances, fans on the edge of their seat.
And here comes Nicky Cadden, he's got it from Boyle, he drives to the byline, he's in the Hearts box now and wins the corner off Steinwender. Hibs looking to finish this off and save themselves, spare themselves. Well, a dramatic conclusion.
Well, we've all been here before, 2-1 up, long way to go.
Yeah. We spoke about key players before the game, and rightly so. We picked out Nicky Cadden, and Hearts done a brilliant job first half of keeping them anonymous. Wasn't in the game at all. Second half, Hibs have got it. Johnson half time. David Gray must have been screaming at players, get it to the wide men, get it to the wide men, get to the wide men. And he has been sensational second half.
In comes the corner for Hibs. It's flicked away out to the far side. Triantis will pick up the scraps though. Looks to hit the byline. He's got it across. Bushiri! Oh, he's so close to getting his head onto that properly. In fact, the Hearts defenders got there last and it's gone behind for the corner.
I mean, it's a tremendous cross from Triantis on the other side. It looked like he'd overhit it to the byline, but he got there, dinked it to the back post. Looked like Bushiri was going to head it in, but good defending.
Listen to them singing Rocky Bushiri's name.
It's normally the Hearts fans that are singing that.
Yeah. How times change. Nicky Cadden's corner comes in, it's only half away. Miller battling for it. Penrice smashes it up the pitch. Chris Cadden gets onto it, controls and turns it back to Smith. 81 on the clock. Hibs 2, Hearts 1. Long ball from Smith out to the far side. Nodded on there, but it's, well, why on earth did they not let that come through to Gordon? Anyway, Steinwender's managed to find Beningame, so it doesn't really matter. Still not been able to make these changes, Hearts. The ball's not going out of play, but it's been nicked into Kabangu. Smith comes up to his 18-yard line, slides and clears. He was offside anyway. But now they can make the changes. Neil Critchley down there sending on Vargas and Drama. Beningame, as I said, will be one of those to come off, and he needs this to work, John Robertson, but the problem is the clock is ticking.
It is. It's a bold move now. He's taken off 2 midfield players and brought on 2 forwards. Vargas and Drama will play the wide areas, so it's a straightforward 4-4-2 now with real pace in the wide areas. Kabunga still down the middle, very, very quick, so he's thrown everything at it, but to say Hibs have that goal. I mean, you look at both halves. Hearts clearly the better side first half, didn't take the half chances to come along. Hibs clearly the better side in the second half, and it's took an absolute wonder strike to get them in front.
There's a fabulous goal from the defender Iredale after Boyle and Grant traded goals early in the match. Shanklin's header back to McCart, who then takes a touch and rolls it to his left for Penrice. Back to McCart. Hearts been unable to make inroads really, apart from directly after the goal when they had a couple of corners. They've been unable to make inroads and they've given it away carelessly, and Martin Boyle's onto it. It was given straight to Gale. It's Boyle up towards the edge of the box. Comes off Nieuwenhof, it breaks to Campbell, then Levitt knocks it out to Chris Cadden, and then to Levitt. His ball forwards cut out by Nieuwenhof. Breaks out to Lewis Miller on the far side. By and large, this is the same Hibs players that were toiling early in the season and had endured their worst start to a top-flight campaign since 1986. You know, it's not like there's been a whole raft of changes.
But they found the system, Leon, that's the thing. They've got confidence now and they're playing away, and there's the difference. You look at the lad Mooser's come on, he's 23-year-old, runs straight to the ball, allows him to take it off him. The difference between him and young Wilson would have gone, checked, ran him behind, giving them problems. I'm not sure this lad he's blistering pace, but he doesn't seem to have the game intelligence that's required for the top level.
Long throw in for Hibs into the Hearts box, up into there from Steinwender. Doesn't get much on it though. It breaks to Levitt, tries to find somebody to the left of the box. Boyler, Nicky Cadden, couldn't find either, and Taylor is able to clear. I believe Nicky Cadden will be coming off shortly. Jordan Abita will replace him. Shanklin for Hearts down the line, but he can't find Drama, and it goes out for a Hibs throw-in on this near side. Hibs are going to put on Junior Hoylett, who scored their third Tannadice during the week. And a bit of experience coming on for Hibs, who are bringing Abita and Hoylett on. But it's the closing stages now. They are 6 minutes plus stoppages, John Collins, away from back-to-back Edinburgh Derby wins.
Well, Nicky, man of the match is coming off. What a second half performance. Deliveries into the box. Any coach or young wingers out there, just watch this tonight. How many good balls he's put in for a striker. Not only that, he's done the hard work, the work backwards, helping out his back four, back three every time, up and down. He's covered such a large area of the pitch.
Boyle off too.
He's had a terrific game as well. Wonderful goal, but generally his all-round work rate, running in behind, running back to help his defence as well. Fresh legs.
As it stands, Hibs going 2 clear in third. They were bottom of the league when St Mirren beat them here in November. And you think back to the defeat at Dundee, 4-1 they lost. It was a game they led, the red card didn't help. There was all the stuff with Ellie Johan and the keepy ups and all that. Yeah. They were in a bad place, an awful place, rock bottom. Look at them now. As Gale slides in on Steinvender, but he can't quite win it back as Taylor takes over, goes down. Gale thinks he dived, free kick goes Hearts' way on this near side. All Hearts needs one chance when you look at who they've got in the team there.
Yeah, well, there's the difference. You see, I've said that I'm not picking on a young lad, Musa, but his first touch is slack. He doesn't really run back. He doesn't do the defensive work. Gale's across there. What are you, 37, 36, 37? He's across there closing people down, and that's exactly what you need when you come on as a sub.
This one clipped over the top of the Hibs defence. Too much on it for Shankland and for Kabangu, and it's right through to Jordan Smith, who holds on to it. So
Hearts really having trouble. Them second half, the goalkeepers are safe to make any shots on target.
No, just the Penrice when he got on and smacked one. It was good defending it, the 6-yard box. That's been the difference. I say Hearts had the better the first and had a couple of half chances, didn't quite take. I mean, even the goal,
your toilet,
the second goal wasn't even a half chance.
You added a few years in Dwight Gale's age. He's 34.
No, he's 37.
But he's still thinking of chucking it at the end of this season. That's the thing. He doesn't think his body's capable of it, but there he goes. He's just gone into a challenge.
You talk about substitutes coming on making an impact. Now, if you're a Hibs defender right now, you're going, yeah, good on you. He's putting them under immense pressure at the back there. They're not going to get an easy pass out, and it makes your job as a defender easier.
I mean, 34, brilliant attitude. He's hurt himself.
Yeah, he's hurt himself with that challenge.
Hope he's okay.
He's getting himself back to his feet. It's 87 now on the clock. 2-1 to Hibs.
Hibs don't have to push up that far, if you ask me. They're too far up. Why?
Yeah, they're midway inside their half there as Gordon plays it low. Down the right, it's Musa Drama. Vita sticking with him. Drama wins the corner though for Hearts, and this is the first time they've been up in this area of the pitch for quite some time, it feels.
Yeah, and they need to keep pushing, and I've said before, the fast in any derby game when you're leading and you see it murder, you see the clocks now 3 minutes to go, you think, oh, do we stick or twist? You tend to stick. You'll stay back there and defend your box. I mean, they brought on Obita for Cadden. That shows you Hibs are saying we'll take it.
Yeah, this'll do.
We'll take it.
Corner Hearts, Penrice to take in front of his supporters, and it's to the back post. It just flicks off the head of McCartan behind for a goal kick on the other side. A major anti-climax for that bustling away end behind Jordan Smith's goal.
He's just slightly overhit it, hasn't he? He's got to be closer to the goalkeeper.
I believe there will be 5 minutes added. 5 minutes of stoppage time, which means Hibs are 7 minutes away from another Edinburgh Derby victory over their neighbours. Clock ticking down on Hearts. They've been in good form themselves. 1 defeat in 11 coming into this, but they're going up against a train here. And this Triantis, his name, sponsors man of the match. I think John Collins gave it to Nicky Cadden.
Who? Triantis?
Triantis
sponsors.
Got the sponsors man.
They've had far too much.
Couple of pints.
Sponsor. Trust me, they've not been watching the game.
He's had a few man of the match awards recently, Triantis, to be fair.
No chance. Man of the match.
Hearts have it with Steinvender, rolls it low out to Taylor, level with the edge of the centre circle in the Hibs half, down the line for Drama, gets it to the legs of Obita, right hand side looking to cross, a delicate chip ball in, which is headed away by Iredale, who's protecting that glorious goal that as it stands is winning the game. Hoylett flicks on, brilliant play by Hoylett. Now it's Triantis with the right foot, finds Gale. What a touch it was from Dwight Gale. Runs into Steinbender though, and Nieuwenhof rolls it back to Gordon. We're in the 90th minute. Hibs 2, Hearts 1.
Fairness to Musa there. That's a couple of great runs he's made down the right hand side, and decent balls in. One gets a corner, one cleared, and that's what Hearts need. They need the young lad to try and produce something. That's got out of play.
Well, Vargas is, well, he did get the touch onto it. He's not getting the corner though as it goes over the byline. It's a Hibs goal kick, and Jordan Smith goes to give Lewis Miller a hug in the wake of all that. We're about to go into stoppage time. The Hibs fans, John Collins, sense victory.
They do, roaring them on. I'd like to see the goalkeeper playing it out here personally. Keep the ball, don't want to give them it back. No big striker up the top of the pitch now. It's just going to come straight back.
There's the 5 confirmed. 5 minutes of stoppage time. We're into the first of them here on Sportsound and BBC Radio Scotland. Loads more to come. Aberdeen Dundee United kicking off at 3, live from Pittodrie. Once we are done here, long ball, Lewis Miller out for a Hearts throw in midway inside their own half.
It shows you as well though, for interesting games, that not one person has left the stadium. You know, we've just seen the crowd 19-8-7-3 or something like that. Not one person's going because they know there's always late drama here. Is there a last chance for Hearts to grab something? Is there a chance for Hibs to kill it?
Triantis finds Levitt, looks to slip it through there towards Hoylett, but it's going to be McCart who'll get onto it, and try to see it behind Hoylett, trying to force a corner, but he's in the end brought McCart down. That will be a free kick to Hearts, and Junior Hoylett's getting embroiled with McCart, so tries to eat away a few more precious seconds from that clock. Hibs 2, Hearts 1, as it was at the end at Tynecastle at the end of December. Long ball from Gordon, Levitt underneath it with the head. Now Hoylett, they're winning so many second balls, Hibs right now. Clipped forward, Gale's going to go after that. Looked offside, flips it past Gordon into the net. The flag does go up, and Dwight Gale knows himself that he was offside there, and it stays Hibs 2, Hearts 1.
Yeah, he knew it, but he's done the right thing. Just finish it, and if there's some untowards harm. But I'd like to see Hearts now take a gamble. Just go 3 at the back. Hibs have got 2. Go 3 at the back. Push one of your wing backs on and find Rice or Taylor, and just see if you can make something happen. Because they've nothing to lose now. Just pump balls up for Bashiri to head away.
Vargas has it over on the left hand side as Hearts look to attack midway inside Hibs territory here. But just about 2 of the minutes out of the 5 that were added have gone. Penrice with the cross up into the air from Iredale, drops round about the penalty spot. Bashiri half away, Nieuwenhof hits it from outside the area, but he's dragged it wide of the left hand post, and it will stay 2-1 to the Hibees, who are getting ever closer to that final whistle. And Hearts, well, you've got to believe they can force one last opportunity, but it's looking, John Collins, like the train will be continuing on its merry way down the track here for Hibs.
15 games undefeated. Magnificent. All credit to the manager, players, everybody.
And the way things are going here, it's the toughest task of all. You wouldn't back against them potentially making it 16 next week when they go to the Scottish Cup holders.
Well, it's a different proposition heading through to Glasgow playing against the Celtic.
Beat them here last week though, didn't they? That must come into
it'll certainly give them confidence.
The week ahead for them.
Well, they've nothing to lose. The majority of people in the country think there's only going to be one winner, but the Green and White of Edinburgh will be going through, we hope, rather than expectation. But
the thing is, John, Liam touched on that game earlier. They lost 3-0, but they had 3 or 4 great chances earlier on, and the mood they're in.
Well, the positive thing is Celtic are conceding goals every week at the moment.
Free kick there from the previous offside from Smith, headed forward by McCart. It's in the midfield. It's knocked forward by Levitt. Now it's with Campbell with an up and under. Hoylett going after it. Brilliant control by Junior Hoylett down the right, and he's taking it out wide down towards the corner flag to run the clock down. He wins the throw in as well. Right, Junior Hoylett's been put on by David Gray for that specific reason, using his experience and keeping Hibs up the pitch here, and there's nothing Hearts can do as long as Hibs have got the ball.
Again, he's technically superb. He's not got the legs he used to have. That one thing, giving the ball to feet, and it usually sticks.
About to go into the last minute of stoppage time. The Hibs have the ball. We're exactly where they want it, and they have Hearts exactly where they want them. but that's gone behind for a goal kick in the end, and Craig Gordon, in desperation, back-pedalling quickly, waving his team forward as he prepares to launch this goal kick forward with the left foot. Can Hearts force one last chance? Long ball was cut out by Chris Cadden, who knocks it out for a throw-in on the far side. There's about 30 seconds left. Hearts have it. It's level with the edge of the centre circle in their own half. Played short to Nieuwenhof, back out to Penrice, back to McCart. Long ball forward, that's not going to work for Vargas though. It's come off his back and out for a Hibs throw-in, and that is surely that now. Surely it will be victory for Hibs. The Hibs fans know it. They're going to have another party here, as they did when they beat Celtic last week. It's going to be 15 games unbeaten, and it's back-to-back derby wins in the capital for Edinburgh's green and white. Jack Iredale, the hero, that's who they're going to, with a quite wonderful goal to settle this seesaw battle with 16 to play. After Boyle had opened the scoring early on, cancelled out by George Grant. But it was Iredale who stepped up to smash home, left of the D, finding the far right corner. And they've beaten their great rivals and neighbours here in Leith with another really good performance. Hearts perhaps shaded the first half, but Hibs were far superior in the second, and they are no fewer than 15 games unbeaten. They're also now from rock bottom to third, 2 points clear of Aberdeen now, ahead of the Dons game against Dundee United, which is kicking off in little over half an hour. A quite remarkable turnaround by David Gray and his players, and they are rightly celebrating down there. Manager of the month for February, that might not be the only award he picks up between now and the end of the campaign. And now they face the toughest challenge of all to make it unbeaten in 16 when they go to Celtic Park a week today in the quarter-finals of the Scottish Cup. The Hearts players making way. The Hearts fans can't get out of here quickly enough. The Hibs fans will sing long into the night. It finished here at Easter Road. Hibernian 2, Heart of Midlothian 1.
Hibernian versus Heart of Midlothian.
Chance on his end, goal!
The Edinburgh Derby. This is Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland, where Scottish football lives. The Scottish Cup.
It is one of the biggest cup upsets!
Home of the upsets.
Queen's Park have beaten their big Glasgow neighbours.
Home of the occasions to remember.
That magic moment that's got these Hibs fans singing.
Home of the late drama.
With 4 minutes to go, St Johnstone are in front.
The Scottish Cup lives here with 4 games across 4 days.
Plenty of drama, plenty more to come.
The quarter-finals kick off with Hearts versus Dundee, Friday night from 7.
That will seal their place in the semis!
Listen on digital radio or by asking your smart speaker to play BBC Radio Scotland Extra.
With a live commentary of all 4 quarter-finals in the Scottish Cup. All begins. Join us on Friday night for Heart of Midlothian against Dundee. The lunchtime kick-off on Saturday, Aberdeen against Queen's Park. It's a 3 o'clock kick-off at East End, in East End of Glasgow. Sunday, Celtic against Hibernian. Then a week tomorrow, it'll all round off with Livingston against St Johnstone. As you can hear, the celebrations continue at Easter Road. The Hibernian players all lined up in front of the fans, and everyone inside that stadium is belting out the Proclaimers anthem, including some of the players. Nicky Cadden absolutely giving it plenty from what I saw on the screen there. Incredible, the turnaround by Hibernian. It's another magnificent afternoon for David Gray and his team, and as Liam said, they move up into third place in the Premiership table 43 points ahead of Aberdeen on 41, Dundee United 40, Motherwell 37 and Hearts remaining on 36. It can of course change this afternoon. Dundee United would have to record a considerable win to move up into third, but a win would certainly get them up into fourth. Aberdeen know that if they win, they will leapfrog Hibernian back up into third spot in the table. We'll have live commentary from here with Willie Miller and Al Lamont. And Al, you've got the team news here.
3 changes for either side following their midweek defeats respectively, and for Aberdeen in comes Mitov, Palaversa and Gay. For Duhan, Shinnie and Dabag, so it's Mitov in goal for the Dons, Jensen, Tobers, Knuster and McKenzie at the back. In midfield, Nielsen and Palaversa, Keskinen and Ockles in the wide areas, and Nisbet and Gay up front for them. On the bench, Duhan, Shinnie, Polvara, Clarkson, Dabag, Morris, Dorrington, Boyd and Ambrose. As for United, the changes are Middleton, Trapanovsky and Sibbald coming in for Ariboyega, Ferry and Payton. So United will go with Walton in goal. I think a back three of Gallagher, Chevalier and Graham. Strain and Trapanovsky is the wing back, Sibbald, Stevenson and Campbell in midfield, with Middleton supporting Dalby. Up front on the bench for them, Richards, Fiorini, Babunski, Ariboyega, Fotheringham, Van der Sande, Payton and Harding. The referees Don Robertson, and the VAR is Andrew Dallas.
Great stuff, thank you to Al. Just quick thoughts then, Willie Miller, at the moment. A brief summary of your take on those changes for United and indeed for Aberdeen.
Well, for Aberdeen, yeah, I think the midfield definitely needed some extra legs in there. Richard, looking at the game at Celtic Park, I thought that the energy was sapped out of that midfield. I'm not surprised that Mitov comes back in goal. I was surprised that he wasn't part of the Celtic Park game and our starting lineup. And Papa Gay coming in, yeah, the bag didn't really impress too much. I can understand perhaps Nisbet and Papa Gay combination being more preferred. So I'm not surprised at the changes from an Aberdeen point of view, but it's a huge game for Aberdeen, huge game for both clubs, isn't it? Dundee United having a rather lean spell, 6 losses in 8, is that correct, Richard? I think something like that. Yeah. Anyway, they're on a bad run. Jim Goodwin, after a tremendous start, a lot of praise being thrown his way. He's got to try and turn it round. We're a little bit uncertain on how they'll line up, whether it'll be a 4. They played a 4 at the back against Aberdeen at the end of last year. They've been playing a 3/5. So we'll just have to wait and see. But I think the most important thing for Jim Goodwin is to turn his fortune round and try to get a win under his belt. I think that the run that he's on has been a little bit depressing after such a good start to the season, and he'll be hoping that he can do that. Of course, there's nothing in it in the league, is it? It's all really tight. In terms of United in 40 points, Aberdeen in 41, and Hibs now in 43. What a turnaround they've had. So as far as Aberdeen and United are concerned, they just need to either one of them overtake Hibs or get closer to that third spot.
I have to say that we're all a little bit confused as we're trying to find a left back for Dundee United, or a left wing back, but Al looks to have managed to assess exactly the situation. We'll see for sure once the game gets up and running exactly who or how they will be lining up the visitors, and we'll hear from both managers. But let's just get back to Easter Road. We've got to start with John Collins, who will be lapping up. I would imagine they'll still be singing Sunshine in Leith in about 3.5 hours time. John, great atmosphere.
The best atmosphere I've seen for a long time here at Easter Road. That rendition of Sunshine on Leith was just fantastic. That credit to the players, the manager, staff, everybody. And I thought the second half performance was dominant from start to finish of the second half. I think the manager got the message across at half time. Get the ball to Nicky Carden is exactly what I wanted, and exactly what they did. His early deliveries into the box were magnificent. A centre forward's dream. There was a few that probably should have been finished off, and we're thinking Hibs are dominating, they're not scoring, they're not going to go, and all of a sudden the ball comes again to Carden, whips that ball in, it comes out, bounces nicely, and Jack Irvine, what a strike to win a derby match. Playing as a whistle, bottom corner, keeper absolutely no chance. Hibs, I think, thoroughly deserved the victory. First half it was a fairly even game, maybe Hearts slightly better in possession without creating too many chances, but again it's a good team performance from Hibs. Work ethic from your centre forwards. We want them to score goals and be creative. The front two of Hibs to start with, the work they did going back, chasing fullbacks, chasing centre halves, really outstanding. I think that's the key to their success just now. Is they've got a terrific work ethic, they've got legs, and this system they play, the key to this system being successful is the two wing backs. To play a wing back position, you've got to be good in defence and you've got to be good in the final third, and you've got to have a great work ethic and a fitness level that gets you up and down the pitch. And the Carden brothers, Nicky and Chris, they give exactly that. They get back and help the central defenders, but they get up and they deliver. And when it's been delivered from the left hand side, not the one on the right hand side, he's in at the back post trying to get in goals. So those are key players in that system. But it's a complete team performance from Hibs' point of view, and again richly deserved. 15 undefeated. They go across to Celtic Park next week.
They do indeed. We'll have live commentary of that and all the quarter-finals. Hibernian were much better, John, the much better side in the second half, weren't they, John Robertson? Were you disappointed in Hearts after the break?
Yes, of course, because you've got to be. You take it on the two halves. The first half very encouraging. Hearts Diamond worked very, very well. They got the ball into Shankland. He was causing problems, as I said. They responded well to his opening goal, and the 3 goals were absolutely magnificently well taken, I've got to say. But at 1-1, Hearts got on top. Shankland had a wee chance for the header, and then there's another. Kabangu could stay on side, goes through, finishes brilliantly, but he's definitely offside. But Hearts were playing the more control stuff. They had the better of the game. They were nullifying Hibs. We didn't mention, and we said that at half time, we didn't mention Nicky Carden in the first half at all, until right at the death when he smashed one across the face of the goals. John said at half time that for Hibs to get on top, they needed to get the ball to both wing backs, to both Carden brothers. Second half, they'd done that quickly, and it all started with Junior Moraes hit it was a quick free kick in the middle of the park, Richard, and he just stood up, smacked a 35-yard ball out here to Carden. He took one touch, didn't even look up, whipped it in, and Campbell got on the end of it. Should have probably scored, head it past, and that seemed to spook Hearts. And Hibs suddenly, Taylor wasn't quite getting out to stop Carden getting on the ball. Suddenly Grant wasn't getting out there making that 30-yard run to get out, and Carden was just putting cross after cross after cross, and it was building. It had to be said, until the goal, it didn't look like Everton put the ball in the box. It was causing problems, but Hearts were dealing with it relatively well. Craig Gordon had one real save from Carden, or the Chris Carden shot was straight at him. But then the goal itself, again, Nicky gets down the left, the Cartoon doesn't get out to him, it's whipped in. It's a half decent header from McCart. He's under pressure, heads it away. Iredale managed to get his sole, his foot onto the ball first to keep it down, as it popped up. We were sitting right behind it here. As soon as he hit it wasn't going anywhere else. Craig Gordon, absolutely no chance. And to be fair to Hibs, they saw the game out relatively comfortable. That's probably the biggest disappointing aspect of it, is normally, and history and tradition will tell you, Hearts are behind or level in the last 10 minutes, they'll get a chance, never really created anything. I can't remember Jordan Smith having a save to make in the second half. So Hearts, after probably for about an hour, they were equally as good as Hibs. They were probably the better side they were the better side first half, and then it was pretty even start the second half. But once Hibs started to get the ball out to Cadden, that's what changed the game, and Hibs run out deserved winners in the end, unfortunately, from a Hearts perspective. And it's another big win, and it just shows you a team that's full of confidence at the moment. This Hibs in the first quarter of the season might have lost that game, or at least drawn it, because we wouldn't have had the confidence to see it out. You've now got a Hibs team who can see games out now. Yeah, as John said before the match, they're not blowing teams away, but I tell you what, once they get in front, they're a difficult team to break down, because you see what they're doing. They're bringing on a beater at the back to shore up. They're bringing on 2 really, really experienced players up front to go and say, right, go and run into the corners and keep the ball for us. Because the last 5 minutes, Hoylett and Gale had the ball down in the corner flag and just kept it down there, kept knocking off Hearts and making sure they couldn't go anywhere. So in the end, when you put both halves together, Hibs' dominance of the second half was more than Hearts' dominance of the first half. Hearts could have been possibly ahead at half time, but in the second half, and that's what you always judge it on. You come away from a game, if you've done really well in the second half, even if you've lost but played really well second half, you think, actually we finished the game strong, done okay. Hibs were the better team in the second half. You know, if you put both halves together, you could make an argument for a draw, but you can't, because the whole of the second half, the ball unfortunately was just going towards the Hearts goal.
Incredible, absolutely incredible. So the run continues for Hibernian. As we mentioned earlier, John Collins, 12 points from the first 16 matches. That is now 31 points from 13 games. They're up into third place. And yes, they will be full of confidence, no doubt, going to Celtic Park in the Scottish Cup. But actually, even if that doesn't go the way they hope for, you would imagine that they're not going to let that confidence slip. They've got so much to take into the final 9 games of the season. Are they your favourites to go on and take third place now?
I think they've got to be. The momentum's with them. Confidence. They've got a full squad, no injuries, and that's key. Keeping key players fit and available for a manager. He's got a big squad. He's looking at his bench now. He's got players that can come on with experience. I think they'll be really optimistic now with that third place. I don't think there's a huge gap between any of the top third, fourth, fifth. Aberdeen, Dundee United, Hearts, Hibs. There's not a lot between them in the games, but at this moment in time, Hibs are looking, I think, physically stronger than the other group that's going to be fighting for that third place.
They've got a really good balance at the moment, Richard. We're talking about the balance in the squad, and when you look at teams on a good run, Aberdeen at the start of the season, they had the 4-3-3, everybody was fitting in, round pegs and round holes, good energy, and Hibs started off with the back four. David Gray's looked at, he's brought an extra defender, he's pushed Campbell up off the front row, and they found the balanced it. You know, 3 big imposing centre halves, who, by the way, not the best. I've been honest, and for the first hour, as I say, Hearts didn't capitalise on their poor passing, but they're big, strong lads there. Triantis, middle of the park, big, strong boy. I thought Mariah Welsh was probably Hibs' most controlled player on the ball today. Managed to get the ball down and pass it about. But John's right, the key for him at the moment is the Cadden brothers, either side, especially Nicky's getting rave reviews, but don't for 1 minute disrespect what Chris does on the other side, because he works his socks up, maybe not as forward going and doesn't put in the same level of crossing ability that his brother does, but I tell you what, defensively he does a really good job. Kept Penrice very, very quiet today, and then as I say, you know, Campbell causes problems with his energy. Boyle and Bowie have got real pace to burn up there, and look at it, we're not even talking about the fact that the man who started 2 of the last 4 games, Kukarevich, could get on today. He couldn't get on today because Bowie's a threat up there, Boyle was a threat. So Hibs have got a real good balance, they've got a real good squad. Hearts, for an hour, I was more than happy with the performance. It was decent, they were playing, they were setting Hibs traps, they were making Bushiri make passes he didn't want to play, but then that stopped. He just faded off a little bit and allowed the ball to get to Chris Cadden. And I think for the vast majority of Hearts fans, the 4,000 or so who are leaving Easter Road today, is that the second half never really laid a glove on Hibs. Never really, you know, Penrice got up, put a ball, and Musa Cutler needs some bits of movement down the side and put balls in that were easily defended by Hibs. I can't recall Jordan Smith having a save to make second half.
I think Bowie and Boyle, I think they're forming a good partnership. I think Bowie gives you the power and the strength in the aerial, the flick-ons takes it in his chest, and Boyle's scrambling round about and making runs in behind. But both of them, what they're also bringing is they're bringing a press. They're working together very well, stressing centre halves. And see, when you've got players at the top of the pitch that can cause problems offensively, create chances, but at the same time they're doing a great defensive job for the midfield and the wide players. They've got a good balance and the system seems to suit them. And again, I've pointed out those wing backs, Nicky and Chris Cadden, they do a wonderful job and they cover a lot of ground.
Yeah, well, there's certainly, Nicky Cadden, just the quality of the crossing that we saw in that second half was outstanding. What was also outstanding, John Robertson, was, and it shows you, doesn't it, when everything's going your way, that's when your big central defender will come up and smash home a worldie for his first ever goal for the club.
But that, listen, the derby games in all cities, Dundee, Glasgow, Edinburgh, etc., Aberdeen obviously having Cove Rangers now for company, but you find the most unlikeliest of heroes at times in derby matches. You know what I mean? There's players who have popped up over the years who've scored a winning goal and you're thinking, that's about all they've ever been remembered for. Now, if Jack Iredale is only remembered in Hibs fans' minds for one moment, what a moment, as I say, because he's done well to keep the ball down, but you'll see it tonight on the sports scene highlights, that he gets the base of his foot onto the ball and to keep it down first and foremost, and the second bounce just pops up lovely and he hits it, and he ever so slightly, Richard, you'll see it, he plays it with the outside of his left foot, which keeps it arrow straight with just the slightest of bends and off the post. No chance Craig Gordon's got. And I say, if you were to give a £3 to have a bet on someone scoring a goal, I think he would be way down in your list of players to score. But it was a goal fit, unfortunately for the Hearts fan. It's a goal fit to win any derby game. It was an absolutely magnificent strike.
You always want a special goal to win a derby, and that certainly was a special strike. Absolute, nailed it, unstoppable, bottom corner, side netting, and he's probably beat the best shot stopper in Scotland.
Let's just bring Willie Miller. He's here at Pittodrie, gearing up for Aberdeen against Dundee United. That battle for third place is looking very, very interesting now, is it not, Willie?
No, it is, Richard. It looked to the beginning of the season, that first 11 games, that Aberdeen were going to do it quite comfortably, and certainly looking at Hibs and Hearts, I don't think you would have given them much chance. I'm sure that the two ex-players down in Edinburgh today would agree with me. If not, they can shout out. And I don't know, you are giving centre-backs such a hard time there that we can't actually find the back of the net with a particularly good goal, which it was. It was a magnificent strike.
Have you scored a 25-yard volley in your career?
I can think of a few.
All the time, regularly.
In a derby against Cove Rangers? In the Aberdeenshire Cup?
I usually kept them for maybe, winning the league title or something like
Easter
that.
Road?
Rather than...
no, he just saved it for the Celtic up here.
We digress. Let's get on to the subject of the third spot. And John is, the Hibs John is very confident that Hibs are going to do it. I'm not so sure. I think Aberdeen, with the changes that they've made during the transfer window, and if they can get themselves settled down a little bit, and the manager can get a regular team out there in the pitch, and the confidence can get a little bit higher. I know down at Celtic Park at times they're all over the place, but it was quite refreshing actually in the early part of that game to see a team going to Celtic Park and actually taking the game to the home side, but they get caught out, and they have been caught out a number of times with Celtic, but no, I think there's all to play for. I wouldn't discount Hearts either. I think they've come back, and of course you've got United too, but United are on just a dreadful run just now, just 8 games, 6 losses. That's not form that would inspire you. Same with Aberdeen. So I can see where John Collins is coming from in terms of tipping Hibs, and they are playing some exciting football, and they look very strong at the back, where they weren't looking strong at all at the beginning of the season. So it's been a really strange season. I think we would all say that, would we not?
Yes.
In terms of the form of various teams throughout the season so far. So all to play for. I'm not too sure who's going to finish third. From my point of view, I'm hoping it's Aberdeen, so I get some European games next season, but there you go. That's very selfish of me.
I mentioned a few times the fact that Hibs back, and when they last lost in the league, they were bottom of the table with 12 points. At that point they were 22 points behind Aberdeen, and now 16 games on, they have moved.
I don't think there's any doubt, Richard, that Hibs, with the momentum, kind of neutral here, that they've got the momentum at the moment to keep going. That's why today's match at Pittodrie will be another cracking match. Is vital to both United and Aberdeen. Aberdeen, if they can win it, maybe pick up a wee bit more momentum again. If Aberdeen drop points, Hibs are, you heard Liam saying that the Hibs train, that's, we've had the Aberdeen juggernaut earlier on in the season, but the Hibs train is flying, and that's, you've got to look at them and think, well, the momentum's with them, there's a possibility that they can keep it going. And one thing's for sure, every single Hibs fan walking out the stadium today, and every single Hibs player celebrating after the match, they believe now that they'll be strong favourites to finish third. But as we say, what an end to the season we've got here. The league title's done and dusted, we know that. Second place done and dusted, we know that. What a battle for third, what a battle for top 6, and what a battle we've got at the bottom now.
Yeah, it's going to be brilliant, and of course it will all be live with us here on Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. We'll get a reaction from Easter Road a little bit later from the two managers at the very least. Hibernian with a 2-1 victory. Remember, they went ahead early. Martin Boyle, a real opportunistic goal, just this pace took him in behind, and a lovely finish. Within 2-3 minutes, George Grant had blasted home Arts equaliser. But it was Hibernian who dominated the second half, and Jack Iredale with a magnificent volley to win the derby. Hibernian are up into third place. Aberdeen and Dundee United also in the battle, of course, to finish in that spot. They will go head to head in just about 10 minutes. It's live here on Sports Sound. Let's hear first from the Dons manager, Jimmy Tilleen.
Jimmy, first of all, 3 changes to your line-up today. Just talk us through the team that you're going with.
No, I think it's like it's the third game of a week, and we want to keep the team as fresh as possible at home here to get intensity high. It was a quite demanding game now against Celtic away. So this is some reasons, and also about the tactical point of view of the game.
Just give us your general thoughts going into this one.
I think it's going to be a quite compact game in the beginning, and hopefully can play well and open the game up a little bit more, and it's going to be an important game for us today at home here at Pittodrie.
Have you got the Celtic game out of your system?
Yeah, of course. We have always move on. Even if you win or lose, you have to go look forward to the next game and plan for that one and focus on the right things.
There have been very tight games against Dundee United so far this season. Are you expecting something similar today?
I think so. The way they play and the way we play, I think it's going to be quite compact. But hopefully at home we can get longer time the game goes. We can try to open up the game and use our qualities there.
It's such a tight league table at the moment, whether it's looking at the battle for third, fourth. Still work to do to secure top 6 football. Do you pay much attention at all to that?
No, we don't, but we also know that I think it's every game now to the end of the season is going to be like a final. We know that there's so many teams right now on good runs, and it's tight, and so for us it's to focus on the right things, and the thing we can what we can do about it is to perform well in our games, don't look too much on other games.
I guess with it being so tight, there's no margin for error, is it?
You have to be consistent now. That's what we talk about. We start really well, then we have some inconsistency during the season, and hopefully we can keep going now. Start from today at home and be consistent the rest of the season. Then hopefully it's going to end well.
How would you assess the threat of Dundee United? Maybe of late they haven't been getting the results they would have wanted, but the level of performance has still been pretty good.
It's a stable team. They always create some chances in different ways. They have the strengths. They are defending as a collective. It's a difficult team to play against, and they're doing well, and they deserve the points. So it's going to be important for us to get our maximum today.
There's been quite a lot of changes to your squad since the last time you played Dundee United down at Tannadice. Do you feel like your team are in a better place at the moment, perhaps, than they were then?
We have a difficult run at that moment, but I think also we're growing a little bit more. I think we're more connected now, and we're finding way back to a good performance again.
Jimmy, all the best today.
Thank you so much.
Jimmy Tilleen with Tyrone Smith. The Dons, of course, after that long run in the league without a win, then back-to-back victories in the Premiership against Dundee and Kilmarnock. It all came crashing down against Celtic on Tuesday night, albeit they created plenty of opportunities in that game, but emerged on the end of a 5-1 thumping. So they'll need to bounce back. Dundee United, as Willie's been saying, poor run in the league, 6 defeats out of 8. They also went out of the Scottish Cup to Dundee during that run as well. So they will be desperate to get back on track. Jim Goodwin also with Tyrone.
Jim, 3 changes to your side today by my calculation. Just talk us through how you're setting up for this one.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a change of shape coming into today's game. We're going with a couple of wingers on either side with Trapanovsky and Glenn Middleton, and we're reverting back to a back 4. We had good success playing this system against Aberdeen at Tannadice, and hoping for a similar performance and a similar result today.
What are your general thoughts going into this one?
But listen, always a difficult venue, difficult fixture, really tough opponent. Aberdeen have had, real significant investment all season, particularly there in January. This side that we're facing today, I think there's probably 5 or 6 changes from the team that we faced last time out. But yeah, I mean, look, it's going to be a very decent game, hopefully, between two good teams, battling it out at the top end of the table. And there's a lot on the line for both clubs.
Hibs have just won the Edinburgh Derby. They go up to third. Does that put a bit more pressure on both teams today?
Yeah, I mean, look, listen, Hibs have been on a great run, 3 wins in the league in the space of a week, and it's catapulted them right up the table into third place for us just now. So the incentives are there for us today. We know that the league is really competitive this year. You can see how many teams are battling it out for those top 6 positions, and we're right in the mix, but a lot of football still to be played.
Maybe not getting the results you would have wanted of late. You've still been happy with how your team have been performing?
Yeah, been really happy. I mean, obviously last weekend against Motherwell, a really good result. Midweek, against Hibs, I think it's been well documented in terms of what happened in that game, and we had a perfectly good goal chalked off for no reason. Shows you the significance of those big results. There's Hibs had 2 really good VAR decisions go in their favour on Saturday and on Wednesday night, and those points can make a huge difference to how the league table looks. But we have to try and put that one behind us, try and use that as a bit of motivation, and hopefully it'll galvanise the players today.
I know we spoke at length about the whole VAR thing in the last game during the week. I take it whatever happens today, you'll be hoping we're not all talking about VAR again at the end of this one.
Oh, listen, there's been so many talking points with VAR this season. As I said there, the decision at Easter Road last Saturday, denying Celtic a clear goal. The decision on Wednesday for ourselves, denying a clear goal. Yesterday, even live on Sky, the decision not to award St Mirren a penalty laid on. Celtic got an apology after the game of the weekend. No doubt we'll get an apology this weekend, and St Mirren will get another apology. The apologies don't matter. It's those big decisions can be really costly in terms of how the league table looks at the end of the season. So hopefully today we're not talking about VAR, and we're talking about a really good performance from both teams, and hopefully Dundee United coming out on top.
Jim, all the best today.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, let's hope that is indeed the case, that it's a nice, exciting, dramatic, but not too painful afternoon in that respect. It is, of course, Aberdeen against Dundee United. As I mentioned just before we heard from the 2 managers there, we will get reaction later in the programme to that Edinburgh Derby. The bosses, they are a little bit slow in coming out and joining Brian McLaughlin, but we'll get that out to you, if not at half-time, then in the final part of the programme, and that will be in the wake of the action here. It's chilly, but it's a very bright, sunny afternoon. Not quite a sellout this afternoon. I noticed they were still putting out the emails earlier on this morning, saying that you can get your tickets for the game. So they had that run of sold out matches. Not quite. So maybe the fans have just dipped off a little bit in terms of their expectations, but it's a decent enough travelling support up from Dundee, Willie. It's still a good crowd. It's absolutely a good crowd, and it's going to be a good atmosphere, you imagine.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be a good atmosphere, and they put a lot of effort into making sure that that's the case with some of the displays that the club put on. I tell you what, it's not a bad crowd considering. Before the last 2 games, it was 14 games without a win. I'm not too sure how many back in the day you would have had then, maybe about 8,000 perhaps. Anyway, I think the fans have been brilliant. They've been absolutely magnificent.
Sure
and Dundee United fans coming up as well. It's a short journey for them. They've had a good season, although it's dipped a little bit recently. But it's great to see the supporters coming out, and they're treated here by probably the best day of this year that I can remember anyway, with the sun out, a little bit of heat in it as well, and the pitch is looking good, Richard. It's looking good. Some of the surfaces we've seen on TV and been part of live commentary have been pretty poor at this stage, but the Aberdeen pitch is looking good, so hopefully we're in for a treat and a nice game of football, although I'm not expecting too many goals.
No. Okay.
Hopefully I'm wrong.
Willie has spoken. Highlights tonight, of course, on Sports Scene 7:30, BBC Scotland Channel. You'll get extended action from that Edinburgh Derby, where Hibernian came out on top by 2-1 against Midlothian. The best of the action, 2 from the 4 games yesterday, and there was plenty of that. And of course they'll also have the highlights from the one that we are about to bring you. Pittodrie rises to its feet, or at least those inside rise to their feet. As Willie said, it's a good atmosphere, it's a good crowd, and it is all set as these two look to resume battle, and of course look to, well, certainly in Aberdeen's case, overtake Hibernian. It would be a long shot for Dundee United to do so, but if they can get the win, they would go ahead of the Dons United, and that would certainly shake things up for the remainder of the campaign. The two sides are lined up. The handshakes now taking place. The action is about to get up and running. It is the final Premiership fixture of the weekend. It's Aberdeen against Dundee United. It's live with us here on Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland with Willie Miller and Al Lamont.
Thanks very much, Richard. Yeah, let's hope we can match the early afternoon drama over the next 90 minutes or so here at Pittodrie. Plenty at stake for both sides in the fight for third place, with both having stuttered to some extent in recent times. But a victory for either today could really boost their chances. Just hearing that pre-match interview with Jim Goodwin has made me revise my thoughts on the United formation. He's making it clear they're going to a back 4, which would suggest Lucas Stevenson will come to left back. Ryan Strain will be at right back, as he often is, and Declan Gallagher and Ross Graham will be the 2 central defenders. We'll see how that pans out. It would be unusual to see Stevenson certainly in that position. Generally played in a more central role, having started the season over on the right hand side, but it does look as if he is going to line up on the left tonight, this afternoon. You would imagine Will Ferry will be a pretty significant loss actually for United. His delivery from the left flank has been a big part of their success when they've had it this season. But anyhow, it's Dundee United in their change kit, white top, tangerine shorts, white socks, who will get us underway. Alan Campbell, the recent signing, is going to kick us off. United going from right to left in this first period. Sun-kissed Pittodrie, Aberdeen all in red, as the referee Don Robertson is shielding his eyes from the sun as he's looking up across to the corner of the stadium. I'm not entirely sure what he's checking for. Maybe it's trying to get the pundits on TV to be quiet there across the right hand side, but they look to have finished, so we should be underway fairly shortly. Actually, there's I think one of the advertising hoardings or something that was pitch side had to be moved away from the pitch, and the assistant referee is down to make sure that happens sooner rather than later. So a slight delay here in getting underway, but now we are off and running as Alan Campbell goes back to Ross Graham, who hoists it forward down the right hand side for Dundee United, and Victor Chevalier is under pressure here from Kevin Nisbet. He gets it back to Walton, the goalkeeper, who launches it long over the halfway line, and Aberdeen will look to try and get their foot on the ball, but Dalby in there looking to make a nuisance of himself.